So without further ado, let's light the fuse in the DriveSmart California 500.
Watch this, watch this, watch this. Let me introduce you to a brand new thing. No one gonna prove to. You're looking at the king. This life may choose you, so raise your wings. Watch this, watch this, watch this. This is a brand new thing.
For most of North America, it's cold, rainy, cloudy, and possibly snowing. But out west, it's sunny and 75 as NR Night in America gears up to race in the DriveSmart California 500. My name's Jonathan Ramos, the voice of NR, alongside Jarrett Lumberg, the Iceberg, as we get ready to rock and roll for 500 miles.
Well, in 500 miles on Auto Club Speedway, 52 of the best in iRacing, but only 43 will race. And of those 43, only one will get the jackpot of $500 as the winning purse today in the DriveSmart California 500.
A lot on the line as we go back to the year 2007 with the overlays and the paint schemes dripping top and bottom. But before we go ahead and take the green flag here tonight, let's talk about the track. 14 degrees in the corners, 11 on that straightaway, a long D-shaped oval, as it's going to be 2,500 feet of back straightaway, and they're going to be ripping every part of this racetrack.
Well, and because of just how good these drivers are, we may not see much lap traffic tonight. All the racing on your screen will be for position, for anything that matters in this race. It won't just be a bunch of lappers getting in the way either.
It's going to be a lot of fun to see. And we also got to talk about these storylines heading in. Let's start off with the first one here. Braden Movick just came off of winning his second e-ticket event, and he did it in style. A last lap pass off turn 4 after Alexander Kranke was just sputtering coming back to the start-finish line. He is now a two-time e-ticket event champion, and we've been saying this since about middle of 2022. When will someone win that triple crown? Will it be tonight?
I think it very well could be. He has been fast in the testing, and he's been fast in practice, and he's also been fast at the sister track of Michigan like we talked about. He's got the speed, he knows how to win, and I think he is one of the favorites going in.
Speaking of favorites, it's been the talk of the town nonstop. Two former Coke Series champions, Steven Wilson, Casey Kerwin, they've won 23 and 24, 23 and 22 respectfully. They're getting ready to duel it out. Kerwin in the 83, Wilson in the 01 machine. Do they become the star of the shows here tonight?
I think they're the ones to beat. You got your normal NR guys who are going to be right up there with them. I don't think because they're the ones to beat that they're the runaway favorites and that no one can touch them. But they, I think, have maybe been holding just a little back, and they are still right up there with everybody else. So if they're not leading it the entire time, they're going to be in the mix.
And here's another thing you got to point out here. This is a stacked field. I mean, the average strength of field, if I'm not mistaken, is well over 5,000 iRating. A lot of these drivers heading in, they're like, oh, we don't have to worry now about making the field because the bottom 9 in qualifying get bumped out. 52 drivers enter this race. 9 will be packing the bags and going home watching on TV. The rest of the 43 will take that green flag. But when you look at this driver count and just the drivers that are racing, you start realizing, oh man, what are the big names that possibly miss?
Well, there's so many. I mean, guys, for instance, like Joey Stone we've talked about, who's usually in the top 20, he might be on that cut line of not making it. We may have former e-ticket winners that miss off of speed just because of how good these drivers are tonight.
And you look back, once again, there's not only 2 Coke Series drivers in this field, there's 4. You got Mullis, and you also have Malik Ray, who's been bad fast. You add in contender drivers and road to pro drivers, and you realize this isn't your regular e-ticket event. This is going to be nothing but battle for 500 miles. What are the odds of Spencer Burns misses? He qualified 42nd at the USA 500. Does he head in tonight thinking, man, we may have to be as strong as possible in qualifying?
Well, yes, but that's because I think everyone has to look at it in that regard, because I think it's going to be somebody that we don't even expect missing this race because of one mistake on that fast lap, and all of a sudden you're going from maybe top 10 down to the bottom 9 in a heartbeat. So it could be anyone missing this race.
Let's talk more about this as we continue to roll in. $500 to the winner. That's right. You win, you get the big prize. You get to do the burnout, and you get the cash. You finish second, well, you just played second fiddle and you're going home. How about for the prizes for the viewers in the chat? That's right. You can win up to $500 in prizes, ladies and gentlemen, by just being active in the live chat. Keep that in mind because we're going to continue to let you know how you can play to win more NASCAR merchandise through DriveSmart warranty. But the big thing I want to talk about, the notable drivers that have never won an e-ticket event. Spencer Burns, Douglas Newbigging, James Thurston, Daniel Mostel. I can go on and on. Jim Cottle is back in the deuce. Abraham Vila. When is Frank D'Angelo's finally going to cross the line first? We continue to ask these questions, and is it time tonight? Is the real question.
I mean, there's some of them you named who I'm absolutely shocked. I mean, Demos has to be the first one you think of where you think he has to have won one by now. He's always up front. We had our league in the spring, and he was the one who won the championship. Well, a large part of that was winning by consistency and not getting the wins in that. So he's somebody I think that could be a real threat. You know, you got Newbigging. He's somebody who is really under the radar, but then you got someone like Burns who's very hit or miss. He can be up front, top two. He's been talking about it. He's been up there, but then there's other times where he just gets in his own way.
Here's the big thing we got to talk about. We have had, this will be the 5th e-ticket event of the year. The first one was Daytona 500. Second one was One Hot Night. We ended One Hot Night with one caution. We went into NWP and we had a good amount of wrecks. USA 500 came by, all etiquette for the most part. Some wild moments, don't forget that, but we didn't see that big one. Are we due for a big one here tonight at Fontana? And we're talking about 5 lanes of racing here. This is the first time anyone's raced at this track with the new track dynamic iRacing's had. These guys will be racing 500 miles for the first time under these conditions. What do they not know? What do we not know yet? I mean, we went to Michigan and we didn't know we were going to see 3-4 lanes of racing. Do we head in tonight realizing it could just be a top-bottom move? Will all 5 lanes go from the get-go and stay there long-term? And will someone make that big mistake on a crucial restart, taking, what, 15, 20 guys out?
Listen, because of what you mentioned, the unknown, I gotta say yes. I mean, we saw that good of a race at Michigan, and we saw all that because they knew going in what exactly was going to happen on lap 50, 100, 200, all the way to the finish. And with this one, we don't have that. And these guys also have been pushing it even further than they did at Michigan, and because of that, I think somebody is going to push it just over the line and might take out a few people in the process.
Jarrett, it's time. Let's get into the best segment of Countdown to Green. It's the driver picks. With how stacked this field is, you may agree or disagree, but who do you have as an underdog?
Well, my underdog is somebody who I think personally is a bit under the radar. He can have his moments, but he can also be just in the top 15 or so and all of a sudden be top 10 at the end of a race. I'm going Contreras in that 38 car. M&M's, I think, maybe in the top 10 by the end of the night.
Ooh, I don't know about that one. I mean, at least on a personal side, but, you know, the chat's going to like that. You know why? Because Contreras is always good at these big 2-mile D-shaped ovals. But the real question is, can he add up? And here's one driver that I know you'll most likely disagree with me with. He went to the USA 500. I wouldn't say unknown, but not expected to run in the top 10. He dueled for the win. He got to the race lead. Then he made mistakes. Too many mistakes that costed him. Give me Douglas Newbigging, the best hair in the field. I think he's got a legit shot. All he has to do is minimize these mistakes. He's back with the 2016 new livery from what he saw in November. I think he's got a big shot at getting it done.
I think he does too, but he has those times he gets in his own way, and that's going to be the key. If he doesn't do that, yeah, I agree with you. But if he does it, I don't know. He might be 15th.
That's one thing you got to look at. Jarrett, fast forward, who you got?
Well, I got somebody who I think is going to be good at a D-shaped oval like this. 2-mile track, did pretty good in the last race. I'd say really good. And I got to stick with my fellow Vikings fans too. Braden Movick is going to be up front running for the win.
I can't disagree. You know, I got so much flack for saying Braden Movick wasn't going to do anything in that last event. I said, oh, he's washed. It's done. It's over. And then he won the e-ticket event, and he has still not let it down. I like the strive there as a fast forward, but how about this one? This one I know for sure you're going to disagree with me with, and possibly part of the chat, because the running joke is in an e-ticket event, this team, these brothers, can either go for the win or they're missing the show. I'm telling you what, if you're a Kevin Champagne fan here tonight, get excited. One of the fastest in speed weeks, fastest in practice, one of the best qualifying times. He has come to play. He wants the 500. He's bringing that little Debbie's machine out there to ride. That Ford, I think, has got a big shot at going to victory lane.
Listen, I agree he's going to be fast. I just can't put him in my fast four because every time I do, something happens. Like, it's so hit or miss. But I think that he is somebody who I think needs a big e-ticket win. He has one, but nobody really remembers it all that much. And I think that he's somebody who really needs it. But I have somebody in my fast four for my third pick here that I think may not need it, but he has the speed to be up there. He's bad fast in everything I've seen him in, both in this and outside. I'm going Malik Ray. He's going to be up there, and he is going to be going for the win. He's super aggressive, too, and I like that in my drivers.
I love this. Honestly, you know why I love this? Because Malik Ray is a guy that went into NR mostly unknown, and then all of a sudden now, here come the viewers loving him. He raced a couple races. He's already shown his personality. I can't disagree with that pick at all, but guess what? As my number 3, I have to go with Red Bull. I gotta go for the shine. Give me Casey Kerwin. Red Bull's been looking for their e-ticket driver for so long. It started with Cormentis back in 21, then really went to Basin in 23. They haven't been able to get that slot. They got an A-class driver here. They got a driver that has a lot of history at winning on iRacing. As long as he can keep it together, Kerwin's gonna be in the Fast 3 all night long, and Red Bull might finally get that elusive e-ticket event.
He's definitely going to be somebody up there going for the win. I will leave it at that for now. But when I come to my second pick, this guy is also someone fast, but in my experience watching him, the fastest he is at these intermediates. And for second, I'm going with the 2. Jim Caudill is going to be bringing the Blue Deuce up front, just like that car was running up front for much of 2007 at these types of tracks.
I love the Deuce. I love Caudill. You know why? Because he always joins into events like this, right? It's always the high horsepower, got to drive in there, really lay on that right rear and save that right front as much as you can. Caudill's going to be a big choice heading in tonight. But you know what? I learned my lesson. I realize you can never underestimate the people's champ. You can never underestimate that 42. I don't think he gets his third here tonight, but man, he's going to put on a show. Braden Movick as my number 2 here tonight. I don't think you can ever underestimate him. Dodge has got their guy. They have won now multiple e-ticket events, and they're going to be looking for their third here tonight. I think Braden Movick's going to be up there. I think he's going to do exactly what he says he's going to do. Get it done. Let's see how it goes.
Well, we agree a bit on that, I would say. But I think we're going to agree a bit on who I am picking for the win tonight. Maybe not in the same position, but I have to go with the Red Bull as well. Kerwin up front. He has been so fast in testing. He's the 2022 Coke champion, and everyone is looking at him as the favorite. How can you not pick him?
I'll tell you why I can't go ahead and pick him. Because there's one guy that is just bringing the hype here tonight. There's just one guy that knows what he's doing. He's got what it takes to go ahead and get that win. Spam the 99s in the chat because tonight is all about Malik Ray. He's coming to NR. He's put his foot down. He's beat Kerwin in races in NR night. Kerwin has done the same back, don't get me wrong, but Ford is finally going to rise. Last time Ford went to victory lane and e-ticket, one hot night. They end the year with sparks, fireworks, everything in between, as Malik Ray will take the checkered flag.
Hey, I said it too. He's going to be up there. I think we got the same idea of who's going to be up front. I just don't think we agree because these guys are so good and they're so close when it comes to iRating, talent, speed, everything.
There's so much to look out for, ladies and gentlemen, as 52 drivers go for 43 spots. We get ready to head trackside just in a moment as we get ready for the DriveSmart California 500. A lot to look forward to. We'll see you in a moment. Let's go meet the 52 drivers ready to duel it out west.
Get ready to light the fuse from Southern California.
You turn on like lightning and spark up a fire. When you do you, when you do you, keep stomping on the floor. You're knocking down the doors. When you do you, when you do you.
Pushing, shoving. One goes for a slide. Chad Thornquist victorious in tour one. Last cast to 3 and 4. Wall rides. It won't work out. Steven Wilson, first career win from Bristol.
Ford, Vila drives it in deep. Side by side. At the line, it's gonna be Baker. First career win at Bristol.
Mitchum on the drive. Roll on the outside. He's gonna do it. He's gonna get his first ever win in NASCAR Night in America. Michael Mitchell victorious from Iowa Speedway. Run it on the bottom. Schmidt gets tagged. Deep from it. Victorious in the third ever MVP 400. Alexander Balderas. Both looking for their first win. Balderas to the bottom. Shamela looking for a move.
You turn on like lightning.
Abraham Vila and Toyota will find victory lane down the southeast. Vila victorious from Darlington Raceway.
You're knocking down the doors.
Wasn't the fastest on the race, but was the fastest when it matters the most. Chip Castello victorious for the great state of Georgia. 4 wide, back to the line. Who's gonna win this race? Pushing, shoving to the outside. Dua, first career win at Talladega. Flag race to the checker flag. Stanley, Walker, Page, 3 wide. Aiden Walker walks it off from Daytona Road. There's Jonathan Cadell in that 69 machine. Is he coming to pit road? No, he is not. Salamanca, 1 to go from the Irish Hills. Wendy, make your move, you're the one. Most to the bottom. It's gonna be a drag race to the start-finish line. Frank DeAngelis, no! Daniel Mosteller, Vito at the line, victorious from Talladega.
And no, green-white checkers were not enabled. Jason Beckman has just won this race.
It's Dodge going to victory lane from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Jason Tammer victorious.
Yeah, it's around where Tyler Tinsley is, and I know Truther was involved. Look at that. Oh, Truther blew an engine. I think he downshifted the way that thing worked. Watch this.
You see Tinsley right behind him in that 75. Wow. Yeah, that's not normal for just the draft.
Through the middle contact, the leader's just wrecked. At the line, it's gonna be McConaughey.
3 wide looking for the win. Player once to the bottom, victorious from Michigan.
But he's gonna win the race. Smith, 3 in a row, gets it done from Harvey.
Multiple machines around. As Josh Kenyon will find lightning in a bottle and win from Talladega. He's not going to get him. Can Alexander Russell put one last move into turn 3 and claim victory in Virginia? William Schmidt victorious from Richmond. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Bolden with the run into the outside wall. Frank DeAngelis will play the strategy right and win it from Kansas Speedway. Anthony Burrows is going to win the NTAF Southern 500 at Darlington. Through 3 and 4 for the final time. Huddle way too far back, and Kevin Champagne's going to get it done in one hot night. Time running out, final time on turn number 4. Kevin Austin will find his 3rd career win in NASCAR North America, victorious from Daytona. When is Frank DeAngelis gonna make the move? Final time to the short shoot, to the outside of Vincent Gucci. Frank DeAngelis to the bottom of the track. Gucci is gonna win at Daytona.
Nathan Lyons in the 4th spot. He's got it. That's your final 4.
Spencer Burns, victorious from Daytona. It's going to be a drag race back to the start-finish line. TCB victorious from Georgia. Mummick's going to send him. Eberhard goes around. Douglas Newbigging is going to win it in a walk-off. Victorious from North Wilkesboro. 3 wide, this is for the win. Thurston in the inside lane. DeAngelis in the middle. They're going to squeeze. Mosteller might have just stolen. No! James Thurston victorious. And they all rush behind. Tank on the outside. Cooney trying to shove Shaq back top of the board. He's got something right here. Car's going to get that run off corner exit. Drag race back to the start finish line. Shamela on the bottom. Car on the outside. Jackson Carr victorious in duel 2. Push comes to shove. Sean Conklin is going to win this race. Victorious from Phoenix. Here comes Matt Swearingen on the bottom. Final time down off corner exit. It's going to be a drag race. Bowtie versus Toyota. Contreras victorious from the hills of Michigan.
Brower now getting the run. The 3 of Scott gets it to the top 5 or single 5.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna get his first ever win at NR9 in America. James Brower victorious from Rockingham. Scott up into the outside wall, and it's the greatest comeback in NR history. Braden Mummick is gonna walk it off from Darlington Raceway. Mir driving all the way back around. Jacob Wilkerson victorious from Daytona. Stone, huge block into the outside wall. Parker White, the switchback to the inside. Drag race back to the start finish line. Ryan Honeycutt victorious from Olmsted. Won't be enough. Kyle Turzak is going to walk it off and win from Virginia. It's going to be a photo finish at the line. Greenwood victorious from Talladega. Nowhere from beyond. They just went sky high over the catch fence. Chris Downey, oh man, did he fly out of the track? Casey Cohen lines off into Charlotte, victorious. The battle for second, drag race to the line. Riley Montgomery is going to win at Kansas, victorious in the Midwest. And Champagne will now make the field. Morley Baker now out. That's Byron Lewis now fighting for that last spot with sticks on the board.
But though, Kenny Reel in that 8 car leading them just like Dale Jr.
Cross, shove, spin goes to 42. Malik Gray victorious from Pocono.
Back from the Auto Club Speedway, ladies and gentlemen, this is NR Night in America. This is an e-ticket event as the drivers wait for their time to head out during qualifying. There's so much to look at. There's so much to go over before we even drop the green flag here tonight. But the best of the best will rise to the occasion, no doubt about it. Jarrett, it's time to set your field of 43.
Well, and we've seen it throughout all of testing, just how close all of these drivers are. So these laps, you got 4 laps that you can put up. These laps might be the most important of the night for at least half the field.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Drivers sitting on the racetrack, Spencer Burns, Malik Ray, Braden Movick, have all lined up as they get ready to go ahead and drop 4 laps of qualifying. They have 5 minutes to do so. So much on the line. As that clock strikes 0, 9 drivers will head home, and 43 will take the green flag.
And they're all getting their laps set, everything set at the moment, and there we go. All zeros on the clock. And
This
John,
is it.
yeah, who will not be racing tonight?
Oh, no, man. I worry about Spencer. I will continue to point that out. I truly and truly worry about Spencer Burns. Jacob Wilkerson on the racetrack. He's someone that I expect to make the field. Beautiful pizza rolls machine made by J.D. Laird. Laird did a fantastic job making so many paint schemes here tonight. He's driving the 14. He's someone that I expect to go ahead and make the field. But is it enough? Do you go out for a lap, then maybe bring it back on pit road and wait it out, or do you do all 2 laps right away?
I think you have to wait. If you're somebody who thinks they're on the line, you got to wait and see what everybody else does, because you might set that fast lap and you're good to go, or you might be right in the edge and you need that extra time to just get a little more out of the car. Wilkerson coming down the front stretch now and to the line. Over 200 already.
First one to hit that stopwatch, 203. You'll see 205 easily into turn 1. He got 204 in Ritt's top. He's already jumping in that outside lane. I believe the bottom group will definitely be the most important lane coming down off corner exit. The real question is, does he have what it takes to keep it full stop?
Well, we're going to find out. Going down the back stretch, a bumpy back straightaway here at Auto Club Speedway, and into 3 and 4. Keeping it up towards the top of the racetrack.
Comes right back down to the bottom. You no doubt will be the first one to set down a time. Everyone else will follow in suit. Wilkerson just wants to make the show. Same with Devins Baker, same with TCB. Wilkerson in line, Dodge, first one on the board. What is it going to be? P2, Casey Kerwin, no surprise here. He runs right to the top.
And tying him is Braden Movick as well with the 38.55.
Here's TCB rolling his way around. He comes to the line. Baker, in no time just yet. First time on the stopwatch for him. Frank DeAngelis goes 18th. He's going to wait it out. Spencer Burns right on the money. He's heading out there. No movement just yet by Joey Stone or Douglas Newbigging. Jimmy Mullis now ready to go ahead and work his way on the clock as well. All drivers with different strategies as we hold our breath for the next nearly 3 minutes.
Well, and Burns, he kept it just a little bit off the bottom for his lap. We'll see what lap he's able to put up now. But you got a really close field from first with Steven Wilson in the 01 all the way down to Burns in 14th is less than 1/10 of a second.
They're waiting here. They're doing one lap and just waiting it out. Here's Bomart at 38th. Here's Brummett outside the top 43. He works his way to the line.
And we're going to see also...
Watch, first one on for him.
Well, let's see. DeAngelis at a 38.9. He is right on that cut line. 38th of 44 who have won out at the moment.
Here's Cottle. He headed back out there right away. He is not like the time that he just ran. He will have that drive off turn 4. The Deuce is someone you expect to make the show. He sits 45th. On the flat, to the line. Does he jump up top? Oh, we wait and see. Jim Cottle, top of the board, and the Deuce will go ahead and project it to be leading us to the green flag tonight. He's out of harm's way. Joey Stone, 45th, outside looking in. Does he have what it takes?
Same goes for Kenny Reel, Matthew Brower, and Carlos Truther. Frank DeAngelis now 43rd on the board. He's out now.
So much to look at, so much waiting. Joey Stone of the line, he's 47th. Kenny Reel, he's 48th. A minute and a half left. Stone, 45th. Might be enough. Here's Ryan Honeykind, the 48. He sits 37th.
And now the one on the line is Benjamin Walker. leader, Dean Brummett, your NWP 400 winner, out at the moment.
Oh, man, this is going to be crazy. You got Frank DeAngelis there in 46. You got Matthew Brower in 50th. Will Shack in the 49th spot. Truther holds strong. He sits 42nd. Honeycutt, 37, just enough. Brummett, first one out, he's ripping topside.
He's going out for another run. This is the last. You can get less than a minute to lock yourself in the show. Frank up to 41st. Now he's barely in.
Here's Brummett to the line. Does he knock him out? Back to the stripe. These machines continue to roll. This is what it's going to come down to. Dean Brummett, a blink once, 46. Is it enough for him? No. Truther out. McConaughey out as well. He sits on pit road, and I think they're throwing in the towel. That might be it. Kenny Reel, one last drive to maybe see if he has what it takes.
If you're a Frank DeAngelis fan, he is right on the cut. He is 43rd out there right now. 38.78 is what the 10's got to beat.
Reel to the line, 49th. He'll sit there. Dale Greenwood out. Dean Brummett to the line. A last heave by the 07. Does he knock Frank out of the event? No, time expired. Wait a minute.
He did. Frank's out.
Dean Brummett, 10th. Frank DeAngelis will not take the green flag here tonight. A buzzer beater move, and that's what's gonna decide it.
Wow. We've said that people who are favorites, whether fan favorites or favorites off speed, would be in danger, and we weren't lying. Others that are out of this race: Aiden McConaughey, Carlos Truther, Devins Baker, Dale Greenwood.
Joey Stone got in.
Kenny Reel out, Will Shack and Brower. Those are the guys out. Joey Stone got in. Steven Wilson and Casey Kerwin, your front row.
And I'm going to be honest, I did not expect Joey Stone to make the field. He was the slowest in Q on practice. An FP2, 3, 4, all of them. And Frank DeAngelis, who I thought would have been a sure lock, gets to pack the bags as he will not make the DriveSmart California 500.
So Maravella will be your Mr. Irrelevant for this race. He is starting 43rd.
Dean is him, baby. Dean is him. I'm loving this. You can't get any more exciting than this. But the 19 will jump to the wayside as Frank DeAngelis will end the e-ticket season winless.
Well, you know, we're talking about Dean Brummett here. He's somebody who is a mystery. We didn't know going into NWP how good he'd be. We don't know sometimes in normal NR night how good he'll be. He's top 10 on the board going into this race. He might be somebody none of us were looking at.
Well, let's go through the rows here in just a moment as we get ready to kick off your 2023 DriveSmart California 500 Row 1. No surprise here. Steven Wilson, Casey Kerwin, two of the former Coke champions, ready to rock and roll with Toyota and Chevrolet.
Going to row 2, we got Caudle and Malik Ray, two other favorites that are just outside that front row.
Row number 3, let's lock it low. Jacob Wilkerson, Braden Mubbick, 42-43. Wilkerson, a big underdog here tonight, ready to go ahead and give it its all.
Well, in row 4, we got Laird, who was somebody that we had talked about earlier, and Kevin Champagne looking to have one of those high-profile e-ticket wins tonight.
Row number 5, let's see it. Anthony Burrows, Dean Brummett, the shot clock king, gets in style. He'll be contending for the win right off the money.
Well, in row 6, we got Jimmy Mullis and Abraham Vila, two others who we've seen a lot of speed from in this e-ticket qualifying and practice, as well as others.
Row number 7, Douglas Newbigging, Chad Thornquist. Thornquist looking for his third e-ticket win and his first win of 2023. Doug, letting the underdogs be proud up inside the Sweet 7.
We're going to row 8. We have Jackson Carr and James Thurston. Thurston, somebody else who's hungry for a win as well.
Row number 9, William Schmidt, Daniel Moss, Stellar. Two big names looking to close this one out.
And row 10, we got Conklin and Mitchum rounding out the top 20 of this race, just in the top half of the field.
Row number 11, Drew Jua joining the 5 here tonight, and Chris Downey putting sticks on the board.
Row 22, we got Smith and Mills. That 15 car is going to be pretty easy to see tonight. And that 44, well, they've also shown a bit of speed as well.
Row number 13, Adam Garza making his first e-ticket appearance, and Riker Byram ready to let one hang.
In row 14, we got TCB and Spencer Burns, two people who are favorites and picks for a lot of people out there in the chat as well.
Row number 15, James Bomar, Jason Tamer. Tamer moving from the 20 to the 11 for this event, still under the Gibbs cam.
In row 16, Tursak and Gucci are going to be making up that row in their two Toyotas.
Row 17, Aiden Walker, Alexander Cranky. Cranky's a guy you want to watch out for. He'll be there at the end, driving that beautiful Budweiser 8.
And in 18th, we got Marty Shmela and Russell in that 17, another beautiful car as well, I might say.
Row 19, Gavin Austin makes it in, and Jonathan Cadell driving that Jim Beam 7.
Row 20, we got Kenyon and Joey Stone, two people who were right on that edge, but they barely made it in.
Row 21, Ryan Honeycutt, a quick scare, possibly missing with Eladam Contreras.
And then shotgun on the field, Marabello in that 84 Red Bull car. Red Bull at the first row and the last.
It's going to be a lot of fun to see how that goes out. Next time by, ladies and gentlemen, we will see that one to go. Let's talk about the race analysis. 250 laps, 55 miles per hour. That's the speed limit. Pit window about 35 to 45. We expected it to be a little bit earlier on that just because of how the track conditions have changed. 14 in the corners, 11 on the straights, and 3 on that backstretch.
Well, and then you got it pretty warm out there, but pretty good temperatures and conditions overall for this track. The big part that you're going to have to look out for, tire wear tonight.
Tire wear is going to mean everything as we continue to rock and roll, so we will see the one to go this time by. DriveSmart Warranty.com has come on board for the final e-ticket event of 2023. Fans, it comes down to you right here. Spam green icons in the chat when we take the green flag. The first raffle for NASCAR merch starts when the leaders cross that start-finish line. If you spam those green icons, you have a shot. Oh, by the way, it is time to let one hang. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the one to go. Big herd of machines now roll off turn number 2 for 500 miles of racing. Let's go back in time, Jarrett, as we get ready to relive one of the glory days of NASCAR with the best drivers on iRacing.
Well, these cars on this track, the speed, the tire wear, the strategy, everything about it is going to put every single one of these 43 drivers to the test. Thing is, I think they're up for it.
Crowd gets ready to get on their feet. It's the first e-ticket event out west in NR Night in America. Our West Coast audience have asked for so long when the time will come. It's right now. Steven Wilson, Casey Kerwin, line up and get ready to roll. The best of the best have come to play on a December night. As the sun sets out west, we get ready to turn it up just one more time as we get ready to light the fuse in the DriveSmart California 500. 2x2 to turn 1.
Going down into 1 right now. They are still side by side. Nobody getting the edge. Now Wilson barely does, but Kerwin has it right there on the crossover, looking low.
Switch back downstairs. Red Bull giving it its all. Here comes that Army machine holding top of the board. Multiple machines at bay here. It's Ray. It's Cuddle. 4 at rest. Back to turn 3.
Cuddle right underneath, but now cleared by Ray. The battle, though, for the lead. Casey Kerwin had the fastest car in practice, trying to lead lap 1 now in the race.
Wilson topside, Kerwin on the bottom. Chevy versus Toyota, and Steven Wilson will nab that first lap. They keep it wheel to wheel. Ray looks to the outside, has the top 2 in the gun sights. Way back down low. Everyone trying to find a different groove that works early on.
And every single groove is being used by the leaders. Now Wilson clears up front. Kerwin second. Mubbick up to third. Now Ray under attack by Wilkerson.
They're looking all over the place. Braden Mubbick has just dropped the hammer and made up spots right from the get-go. Here's Wilkerson in tow. way back to the bottom. Kerwin under fire. Steven Wilson is looking to check out early as he works his way back to the line to start lap number 3.
Early on with the leaders, it's a race to the bottom, but right now Wilson getting about a car length away from him. The side-by-side battle now looking to be for about 7th position.
Caught on the bottom, layered on the outside, has multiple wins in NR Night in America here, but mostly it's every single driver on that conga line back to the bottom. Watch Cottle, he's going to look to the bottom here. A Bray, a peek, a look, says it's too early. Let's lay back. Battle for second. Mubik to the bottom, swings it open into that second position.
Now he's on the charge trying to catch Wilson for the lead. Kerwin right behind him, and Wilkerson hot on pursuit.
It's Chevy, it's Dodge, it's Toyota inside the top 3. Wilkerson giving PBR a daydream here. What a sight to hold early on. Sun setting out west. It's rush hour back to turn 1.
And now Mubik less than a car length back of the lead. He is keeping it right down on the bottom and not losing any ground while doing it.
Wilson's under fire, the 42 in second. Wilkerson now under fire by Kerwin. That was a quick switch. I think Kerwin's thinking, save these tires. These boys are red hot early on. But Braden Mubik wants to win one for the boys back home. Right to the rear end of the Go Army Chevrolet.
Nothing he can do with it now. First battle is about the top 5, and that's Anthony Burrows in that orange 20 machine, making his way up the pack. But you see, this is the gap for the lead entering turn 1.
Connor Murphy, first one to win NASCAR merchandise from DriveSmartWarranty.com. Go ahead and DM me on Twitter for more information on everything you have to do to get that merchandise. Wilkerson sits P3. It's now Kerwin back to 4th. Cottle in 5th. They calmed it out now. I realize, okay, hey, long race. Let's give it rolling. Lap 5 out of 250.
While they calmed it down for a moment, there's still others trying to make positions. Dean Brummett earlier was up top. Now he's on the bottom in that Jack Daniels Chevrolet.
Here's Kevin Champagne. He's mostly just lined up. Daniel Mostella there in the 9. Lined in as well. Abraham Vila, we started to worry that his time has come and gone in NR9. He sits up inside the Sweet 16. As the top 2 gets ready to battle, Mubik is there, ripping the outside lane. New race leader possibly headed to turn 3.
They're side by side down the back stretch. Mubik getting the advantage. Now just barely ahead of Steven Wilson, trying to get the run off the corner. He's got it to the lead. Braden Mubik.
Braden Mubik, top of the board. Wilson now second. He's under fire from Wilkerson. That Pizza Rolls Dodge is just waiting in the wake and ready to strike home. Mubik and Dodge go back to their leading ways. What happens in Michigan might as well happen out west in California as he's scooting away from the Chevrolet.
Easily the biggest lead of the night thus far. He has put about 3 car lengths on those 2 cars battling for the second position. Braden Mubik running away while Jacob Wilkerson tries to catch him.
And ours come to play. Here's Wilkerson at the bottom. Wilson, the savvy veteran, backs off saying still lap 7 out of 250. But let's try a switchback move. Jumps to the bottom. He runs it back to the outside. Wilkerson not trying to tear the tires up. Keeps them at bay. Top 3 under a blanket back to turn 1.
And now you watch, they're going to go a little higher into the corner this time by everyone wanting to go to the bottom at the start. Now diamond in the corner.
I'm starting to see that too. If you look back to the middle of this pack, a lot of drivers have now inched back to that second and third lane. I think everyone thought, hey, let's just play it safe here and let's not try to tear the tires up too much. Let's go to the bottom, but with a strong field that you have here, etiquette's going to be the big deal. Oh, by the way, Jacob Wilkerson, Dodge on Dodge, looking for the lead.
Wilkerson is not letting him go anywhere. Maybe half a car length between them, staying right in his draft to turn 1.
Oh, lined up. Where's the big money move for the 43? Stays in the tire tracks of the 42. Now a lunge to the middle of the corner. Mubik, 1 step ahead. Keeps him right on those tracks. Looking with a wheel off corner exit. Mubik in the fence. Just slammed the right side. Wilkerson might be time to strike. A peak to turn 3, but still no move.
For being early on in this race, they are letting it all hang out. Wilkerson now putting his nose back down to the bottom. Trying to get underneath Mubik. He's going to underneath them side by side to the line.
He's got him right here, Dodge on Dodge, put Kerwin and Wilson in the mix, and here comes the rest of the pack, thundering back to 1 and 2. It's Wilkerson on the bottom. It's Muvik on the outside. Muvik will lose the lead to the center of the corner. New race leader Jacob Wilkerson, but the 42 will strike back on the inside.
He's gonna have the run. Does he use it? No. Staying behind the 43 down the back. The two NR guys leading two of the Coke guys.
This is your fast four. Kerwin, Wilson, Muvik, Wilkerson. Kerwin at the bottom of Wilson. That's now the battle for third. Muvik throws the towel in and says, I'll be back, as he looks for that long green flag run strategy. Here's James Thurston trying to get a big-time win. Not the best outing that he wanted just a month ago at Michigan. Big opportunity to get it done here. Malik Ray, Jimmy Mullis, two Coke drivers now doing it out. Ford on Ford as Ray will get that spot up. A lot of passing early on. A lot of movement in this field. There's more movement than what we've had in previous e-ticket events. What's this shuffle effect, Jarrett? Is it drivers on different strategies, or is this package just that good?
I think it's that good because they're just wearing out their tires or wearing out what they got. I mean, a couple laps ago, that 42 looked like he was on top of the world. Now he has fallen back to the third and fourth place cars and might go even further back than that.
Wilkerson continues holding that lead. Now it's half a second from first and second. Here's your top five on your screen. It's Kerwin, it's Cottle, it's Wilson with Muvik, all chasing the Jacob Wilkerson machine. Three Dodges. What is up with this Dodge camp? And they've come to play the last couple of e-ticket events.
They've come to play, and I think what it is the drivers under that Dodge camp, they're just the ones who I think have had the most speed from the get-go, and they're showing it more and more every race. But at the moment, the battle for second is heating up.
Yeah, man, Wilson went right to that outside lane. He tried to get that run off, and he very much is as he switches it back downstairs. Chevy and Dodge go at it as Toyota watches on. Wilson would like to get back to the lead. Oh, by the way, he just took second and leaves the 42 in the mirror. Here's Kerwin, the savvy veteran, now knocking on the door of the 42 machine.
But he's not going to have enough going to the back stretch. Top four, single file, keeping it as it is now, but they got a bit of a gap on the rest of the pack.
Here's Dean Brummett on the move. We just talked about him possibly missing the show. Battle for seventh. The Jack Daniels 07 in the bottom. Jimmy Mullis right around that outside lane. You're starting to see this track really widen out. Look at the rubber already placed down on the track. Mostly in that bottom two grooves. Maybe a little bit up against the outside safer barrier. But as this sun continues to set, the track's going to cool off. Still a lot of pink in the rear view mirror when we look our way off turn one. But man, the question is, what do you have for Jacob Wilkerson? Muvik's not done fighting. He's got Kerwin to the bottom. Kerwin looking for a way off. Still can't get it done. Shuffling continues throughout the pack as now the Deuce is to the inside, laying over for Thurston.
And they are catching those front guys as well. Look at all of these cars in different lanes going off turn four. Thurston now trying to catch up to Kerwin.
Well, this is what we marketed. We said we were going to see this. Top, bottom, middle. It's going to happen. The question is, come lap 30, is that the real question? Now, if you look at how drivers said that we're going to see pit stops, they said lap 23 to 32 compared to the regular 35 to 45. Why? New dynamic track, and some are saying their tires can't handle the 23-lap run to begin with. We could already be 7-8 laps out from drivers working their way on pit road.
Well, they might be working on the pit road in about 10 laps maybe, but right now they're just working on each other. That 42 car of Muvik had kind of gotten out there to the third spot. Now he's still beside Kerwin, and Thurston looking up top, thought about making it 3 wide, doesn't. Now he's beside the Red Bull.
Oh, he's bold here tonight. Chad Thornquist just outside the top 10, has Sean Conklin now in that 36 camp. JD Laird back to the outside. That's a big mosh pit you want to keep an eye out for. I'm mostly looking at Wilson here. The gap has not really closed back to Jacob Wilkerson at all. We said, will we see an underdog win? You can't get any more underdog than winning this event here tonight.
No, you cannot. And Wilkerson early on, he is putting a bit of a clinic on up front. He has had the biggest lead thus far for the last 10 or so laps of anybody and has really not given much of it up.
Yeah, he's not going to be giving up at all. Here's James Thurston and Braden Muvik going at it. Don't these two just love each other?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're just best friends, and I hope you can hear the sarcasm in my voice because they've gotten into it multiple times in the past. Thurston in the 29 looking for his first e-ticket win. He's not going to lay over for a driver in the Dodge. He looks to the bottom. He looks wheel to wheel. And he would like to find his way up inside the top 3.
Now, I've noticed it. That 42 car, while really good off the corner, also has a bit of an issue with getting loose off the corner. We saw him nearly hit the wall early on while he was going for the lead. That might be something to watch throughout the night.
Anthony Burrows back in 12. He's a driver that we plan on watching for a long time here tonight as the battle for second continues on. Now Braden Movick under James Thurston. We can't stop looking at the top 5. We've multiple times he said, hey, let's look back there. And at some point we'll do a 3 in the field. Whoa, 4 wide, way in the back. Matter of fact, it was around where Spencer Burns was. It's Laird, Byram, and now Bomar in the middle. There's battles all over the place.
Yeah, these guys I've kept a bit of an eye on. They have not stopped going 3 and 4 wide since the beginning of the race. There's a crash in the back. 55 car up into 17. That's Terzak. He is in the wall.
And we'll bring out the first caution. I didn't see how exactly it went down, but right in the middle of the field, a lot of these guys had to move out of the way. Kyle Terzak, known for being the best, let's say, short track driver in NR in America, but he hasn't had a lot of luck on the super speedways and the intermediates and D-shaped ovals.
Well, what it looked like is that Terzak got off of turn 2 and it may have drifted up into Alexander Russell's 17 car and it just caused a 2-car incident. But first caution of the night and we're 20 or so laps in. I'm expecting everyone down pit road.
Oh, without a doubt. And here, the big winner here is still Wilkerson. He played the cards right. He expected a caution early on. Now, just like USA, a small incident brings out the first caution. But for Kyle Terzak, it's like, okay, you know what? We made a mistake, but at least we did it early. I believe Gavin Austin got caught for possibly pit starting. We can check now. No, he did not. He was just way on back.
He's got rear end damage, though. He probably was involved in an incident earlier, maybe at the start.
Well, let's go see what happened with Kyle Terzak. We'll actually go ahead and reset that look quickly. Let's go ahead and take a peek on exactly what happened with him. So, this is him, wheel to wheel. That's Aaron Smith in the middle. That's Chris Downey on the outside. You see Vincent Gucci way wide. It really starts here.
Russell coming up top. He was behind the 55. I don't even know if he thought he was there, but they get some contact. Through 2, 17 car Russell into the wall, and at that point, nowhere to go.
Terzak was just a dart without feathers there. I mean, he really didn't practice that much for this e-ticket event. He showed up to a couple of free practices, but he didn't show speed at all in them. And you can see right away, all those other guys that realized their tires were going, they were ready for it. Kyle Terzak, man, there was just no turn in that car. And you can look back from what we saw. Watch his wheel. He's got it yanked back to the left. It's just tearing the tires up way too early, and that's going to happen here on this old, worn-out surface.
Well, and two, he's at this moment, he's clear of the 17. So I'm thinking that he's drifting up, maybe not seeing the 17 till it's too late, and at that point, they're both collected.
Well, Terzak is still on pit road, and we did have some drivers coming in and out. Chad Thurquist won the race off pit road. It looks like, no, he might just not have pitted. An early strategy call for the 0-0. I don't know if I like that.
Well, we are doing 2007 rules on this. Single file restart will be in effect come this next restart, and maybe you can diminish how far back you'd fall back and hope maybe another caution comes out, but maybe he's just staying out there just to avoid the rest of them.
Hey, race fans watching back at home, it's time. Do the wave. Spam the wave icon or emoji on your phone or laptop, and you will have an opportunity at winning some NASCAR merchandise. He said it was going to be at the first caution. Do the wave. Either it's with the hand emoji, the wave emoji, and we'll go ahead and give yourself your second winner of the night. Connor Murphy, the first one to nab a victory for some NASCAR merchandise as we go ahead and get the one to go to restart, should we say, this race on lap 21 heading into 22. Let's get ready to roll. We got to see more action in the chat. Let the wave go.
As many waves as you can get. Hands, water, make it happen. We asked you guys, will we see a first-time e-ticket event winner? 77%
have said yes. Jarrett, do you agree with that statement?
It's looking pretty likely at this point. It is.
Chad Hornish, you have just won yourself some NASCAR merchandise. DM myself on Twitter at IDKPlayer to learn more on how you can get that piece of merchandise. Ladies and gentlemen, let's line it up just one more time as we get ready to go back underway. Single file restart on the outside lane, lined up nose to tail. So Chad Thornquist did come to pit road. Looks like he might have missed that stall. Jacob Wilkerson will lead us back to the green flag.
And you're keeping it up towards the top because you can pass to the right if somebody doesn't go. This is their best defense against the man behind them.
Wilkerson 43, Wilson in second, Braden Mubbitt back to third, James Thurston back to fourth, Casey Kerwin, your top five. Back underway in the DriveSmart California 500.
Great jump for the 43 on that restart. He's probably going to get about 3 car lengths. A little bit of a skirmish.
Oh, we have
in
a
the back.
stack up way in the rear. Didn't get going, I believe that was Vincent Gucci. Man, it just absolutely separated this entire herd.
Yeah, the entire back half of this pack right now is completely lost contact when it comes to probably, I'd say, the top 20 or so.
Well, it stacked them up. They didn't throw the caution for it. Here's Braden Mubbitt now in that third position on the bottom. James Thurston on the outside lane. You see Jonathan Cadell, Gavin Austin already 10 seconds back. Now, they didn't go for a full slide. We wait to see what the admins will say about it. But so far, they say clean and green. Just a very weird start towards the rear. Long green flag run. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen now.
Yeah, and now you got Steven Wilson trying to run down Wilkerson, but Wilkerson came to play. A lane off the bottom. He is running away from this pack.
I never expected to see him be this strong early on. I just cannot believe it. Now, I know he's a great driver, but he's known for being a super speedway specialist. Zach Todgev, the owner of PBR, has got to be doing backflips right now, knowing that 43 came to play.
Well, and that's the thing. He is slowly inching that lead further out. You've got some of the best right behind him, and they're not catching him.
Here's Braden Mubbitt in fourth, Jim Cottle back to seventh. Here's a wheel-to-wheel Dean Brummett again to the inside. Now with William Schmidt, the 48 back on pit road. That's Ryan Honeycutt back in that 41st position. James Bomar and Alexander Russell might have also tagged along with him. Here's the 18 to the inside, William Schmidt. That's a wheel-to-wheel for position. That's for ninth as the Green Machines work their way to 3 and 4.
And the battle for 11th too. That is Dean Brummett up top, and then you've got Kevin Champagne on the bottom in that 21 car.
Now, we always talked about these guys working over 200 miles per hour. This is just a couple laps later. We heard from drivers you're going to see 2 seconds of fall off within 20 laps. Jim Cottle, about 203. You can already see it going together. Now, they're about 205, 206 in the draft. And that's something to look at. A lot of these savvy veterans saying, save the tires, because you know how bad the fall-off is going to be. You see a lot of passing possibly because of that alone.
Well, and you're starting to see on the bottom, too, that rubber is starting to get laid down, and you're seeing even from the get-go of this restart, drivers trying that second and third lane, even on fresh tires, and it seems like it's working.
Here's Steven Wilson now finally closing back to Jacob Wilkerson. He's about 1 back. Less than 1 now. Chevy on Dodge to turn 1.
And they're going to go about the same line. Now Wilson looking up top. Diamond's the corner a little bit lower than Wilkerson. Off the corner, though, that 43 has it maybe by a car length.
He's got him right here. He's looking for him to turn 3. Closing that gap under half a car length. Less than a bumper width from nose to tail. Wilson rips top. Wilkerson at the bottom. The W's battle on back to 3 and 4.
2 lanes between them. Not going to work this time by, but not losing anything yet. Getting the huge run off the corner. That 01 machine down low.
Looks to the bottom. Gets it to work side by side. Wilkerson led that one. Here's Wilson to the inside lane. Can he chop the bow? He doesn't have to because he lunges to turn 1 and locks in that top spot. Here comes Wilkerson now looking back to the bottom.
He got a little loose there. Loses the momentum. He's right behind the 01, but doesn't have enough to get by him.
Braden Mubbitt in third, James Thurston in fourth. What a race we've had. Just 27 laps into this run. Here's Wilson on the outside now, leaving daylight for Wilkerson. Dodge, Chevy, Dodge, Chevrolet, Fast 4. Everyone chases to go Army Chevrolet as Steven Wilson rockets back top of the board.
That 43 Dodge. He is loose. You see him fidgeting in the corners. He's going to look low again for the lead, but he doesn't have the whole racetrack to end up making the pass.
Oh, he almost got to that quarter panel. Takes a nice swipe, back nose to tail, as they work their way back down off corner exit. Wilson, well, if he came in thinking this was going to be an easy drive, that's definitely not the case. Here come the big dogs. Casey Kerwin back to the bottom in 5th. Malik Ray's back in that 6th position. James Thurston now losing momentum off corner exit. A lot of shuffling, working lap 28.
Well, in these top 6, they've put about a second between themselves and the rest of the pack. You see it there.
Wilson, Wilkerson, oh, nose to tail. We have about to be a 5-6 car dogfight for the lead in California. Mubik sits 3rd. Wilkerson still in 2nd, under fire, Dodge on Dodge. Do you see the swing to the bottom?
Yep.
Yes, we do. Wheel to wheel now for that 2nd position.
Still battling beside each other, but somebody else who's joined it as well is Thurston. That 29 car is flying in the higher lanes as well. He's going to pull up right behind the 43 as he's still beside Mubik for 2nd, looking up top for a moment for the lead. Now down to the bottom, going for the lead past the line.
Was boxed in, now opens the door. Wilkerson to the inside, Mubik on the outside. Steven Wilson rips top. Mubik will join him. Thurston will join downstairs. Multi-Groove Racing on a Friday night. Jacob Wilkerson back top of the board. Wilson scrapes the wall. He takes it right back. This is lap 30, and they're running like it's the final lap in this 500-mile event.
And you watch it there. Mubik up top, got the run, got himself beside Wilkerson. Now Wilkerson gonna try and get the run to the front stretch.
Kerwin sits in 5th. He's just stalking his prey in the tall grass. Malik Ray is also joining in. There's more battles towards the back half of the field. That's Cottle. That's Dean Brummett. They shuffle around as the battle's now for 2nd. Wilkerson on the outside. Mubik on the inside. No one is running away with this event. Just a handful of laps in.
And now he's in the wall. That 43 for a moment scraped the wall, but still gets the run right to the back of that Army Chevrolet. Now does he make the move? No, he does not.
Oh, there they go. Back wheel to wheel. Wilson loves that outside lane. Wilkerson has just set up shop downstairs, lost the rear end, and will then lose top of the board. Wilson takes it back. Wilkerson back to 2nd. Braden Mubik is now licking the chops there in 3rd because he knows it's showtime for him. He runs back to the outside lane.
And he's going to get followed to the high side as well. Multiple lanes again being used, but Mubik trying to get the run off the corner. He's going to clear for 3rd. Does he have enough for 2nd?
James Thurston's thinking right now, this is our best shot at being on top of the sim world. Here's Wilkerson back to that 2nd position. We talk about him a lot. Well, he deserves all the TV time he can get because he is someone you must keep an eye out for. Malik Ray, Jimmy Mullis, Jim Cottle in the Elite 8. Here's a battle we haven't been able to watch much, but who's there? The underdog, the closer, William Schmidt, just outside that Elite 8, inside the top 10. Keep an eye out for him. Lots of racing left to go.
It's hard to watch the rest of these guys because Wilkerson again looking for the lead. Doesn't have enough to make it happen. Slides up in front of Mubik, but Mubik underneath him.
Oh, still that wheel to wheel. Steven Wilson is now scooting away. Look at how much this herd has shuffled back. Thurston runs to the bottom, lined up with Braden Mubik. Kerwin and Ray have now made up time. It's 6 drivers under a second for the race lead. Working lap 33 to 34 of 250.
Wilkerson using that run from the high side to get past Mubik for 2nd and try to make a run at the lead. Tries the high side once more.
Kyle Turzak, James Bomar, your first retirees of the race. 42nd, 43rd. Kyle Turzak just couldn't keep that car together after that big hit. Here's Wilkerson at the bottom. The bonsai move. Dodge on Chevy. Where's the lunge to turn 3? You've got it here. Wilkerson at the bottom. Wilson to the outside. Mubik sets up shop in the middle. 5 lanes wide. Pick and choose. Oh, man, it is Christmas season, isn't it? These boys are going all over the place trying to get it done as Wilson battles back on the bottom.
You can't keep him down. When he's on that high side, he gets the biggest run of anyone. Back to the lead. Wilkerson looking high again over that 01 car. trying to get the run in 2.
Oh, looks tough. Does he get the switch back? Does he have to keep in mind of that 42 machine? Mavic way too far back. Let one hang just one more time for that 43. Wilson versus Wilkerson. The battle of the W's. Let it be known, Jacob Wilkerson has never won an E-ticket event. He's come close in the past, but oh boy is he due. Dodge on Chevy. Wilkerson to the bottom. No change, lap 35.
Yeah, Wilson has it hooked up on the high side. So does Mavic. He uses that run to try going down low onto him, but nope, he's not going to be able to make it happen.
Let's talk tire wear here. Here's the last. Let's go 4 laps of Braden Mavic. Well, 30 back, 23 back, 20 and 27. So they really haven't left that range, should we say. But Braden Mavic has only led 4 of these 36 laps. How separated there? Well, Wilkerson's led 17. Wilson has led 14. James Thurston, he might be that fast for it, but hasn't caught the lead yet. Kerwin's come close. Your big dogs early on are still up here looking to get it done. The question is, can they hold on for this long part of a green flag run?
This little quartet up front, they're starting to run away from those 2 behind them. Front 4, fast 4 are really living up to that name.
Kerwin now to the outside. Jimmy Mullis has come to play. First arrived on the scene just a couple laps ago. He had a fight and claw through that mosh pit way back to the rear end of the field. He's up to 7th. About the top 10, separated by less than 2.5 seconds, with a lot of racing left to go. We're not seeing a lot of spread out runs, and Wilkerson again just will not get off the back end of that 01 machine.
Yeah, top 10 might be 2.5 seconds. These guys going into 3 were 2.5 pieces of paper. They were so close to each other, not letting any of them get away.
I'm excited for James Thurston right here. I honestly think this is his best shot at getting an E-ticket win. He sits right now in that 4th position, and we all know about Michigan. At the end of the race, he said, that was embarrassing. I can't believe after how many races I've won in NR night, that's how I ran. Well, clearly he used that as momentum because he's up here inside the Fast 4. Kerwin, Ray, they came in with a lot of confidence. They're up inside the top 6. I don't think anyone has expected this top 12 to be this way. I don't see Spencer Burns. I don't see Daniel Mosteller. I don't see a couple of these other guys like TCB and others. This is a very interesting Sweet 16.
Mosteller is outside of the top 15. How often do we say that this far into a race?
Yeah, there he is right now in that 16th position, the McDonald's 9. And a lot came in here tonight looking for something great under his head. Here's Douglas Newbigging back to 18th. He's now got Spencer Burns. Burns' big thing was to make the show. He made the show, and he knows he's got to be there at the right time. Him and Newbigging struggling, and I talked about it in Countdown to Green. If Newbigging's got to win, he's got to minimize the mistakes. Well, right now the mistakes are back, and I haven't seen any adjustment out of that 26.
None whatsoever. Up front, though, they haven't needed to make much adjustment because they've just been playing fast throughout this race. Wilson continuing to hold off Wilkerson, and now we got another battle, a bit of a train here in the draft.
Ray's got 2 machines in front of him that he'd like to pick off, maybe one at a time. Thurston ripping top, Kerwin ripping bottom. You almost saw that 99 run that middle lane, but here comes Jimmy Mullis. Not a lot of talk about him heading into this event. Well, we're all talking about him now up inside the Elite 8. Cottle's right behind him. Mullis to the bottom, tries to pick off one. Nose to tail with the Red Bull. No change just yet, but about a 4, maybe near 5-car battle for the 4th position leads to a 3-car battle for the lead.
And now you have Mavic looking for that 2nd position behind Wilkerson. He is dogging him right now, right behind him in 1.
Low, that hard drive back to 1 and 2. I worry about the tire wear because we're under now another long green flag run. James Thurston lined up. Mullis lined up. Malik Ray now putting that fire to the back end of the Reese's 29.
Yeah, now he's going to make his way up into the top 5. Looking for more, looking for that 4th spot. Dives down low of the 29.
Oh, still wheel to wheel. Anthony Burrows back to that 13th position. Dean Brummett back to 12. William Schmidt, he's back in the 9th place spot. Looks to the outside of Jim Cottle, still no change. And these two, honestly, they're going to buy their time, right? They don't need to do anything crazy right now. Why is that? Because they know they have a long run piece. I think Jim Cottle is just praying for a long green flag run. If you're a fan of the Deuce here tonight, you're thinking, please, let's get maybe 1 or 2 pit cycles back to back, because you know he's going to thrive there. And that's the best part about this pack, the character. Some drivers are better on the short run. Some drivers are better on the long run. Some need a shootout style finish to go ahead and win this race. Some, they got just best of all worlds. And I think that's where we're going to see real character here. Who can thrive under what conditions to take the checkered flag?
Well, I just want to give a little bit of a shout out to someone we haven't talked about yet. Sean Conklin into the top 10 now, and he's looking for more as well, right behind William Schmidt.
This 36 team has been fantastic. Underdogs in the USA 500, a huge underdog in the DriveSmart California 500, which you're currently watching, and now Sean Conklin in the top 10. I mean, this is unreal. I think the lucky number of NR night might have to now be 36.
Yeah, I mean, he's up in 10th, and he's solidly been about 10th to 12th all night, and he has not let the leaders get away. Looking at the intervals right now, he's less than 2 seconds behind the lead.
Yeah, that's a big look right there. The top 10 is under 2 seconds. Things are changing. You know what the big change is? Tire wear. Wilkerson and Wilson definitely tore their stuff up. No doubt about it. They're fighting nose to tail. Ray's closed that gap back in. He's under a second now, but he's fighting James Thurston. Casey Kerwin has now really let it back. Him and the 2 might be on the same tire strategy here. Hey, they're going for it. They're putting a real show on, but let's be there when it matters the most and take care of our equipment. Braden Movick, he's a show off. He's going to be there in third. He's going to do everything he's got to do to go to victory lane. Oh, by the way, that means put on a big fight here for that second position.
And he's doing a good job of that. Side by side, now has to pull right behind that 43, but he's not letting him get away. One of these kind of maybe big moves, something like that, he's going to get past his 43 if Wilkerson has a mistake.
Well, the sun is completely set now out west, and for the ones wondering, yes, we did time it with how the sun would have been working. In the meantime, lap 45 at 250, Malik Ray lines up there with Thurston. Still very much no change, but we continue to watch what's going on up front. Wilkerson on the outside, Movick on the bottom. That's the battle for second place.
Well, and you're starting to see, especially out of 2, these guys are right on the limit, scraping the wall. Now Movick going to the second position, doesn't have enough just yet to clear Wilkerson, but he is about the closest you can be to clear. Dives down low, now clears him into 1 and 2.
Everyone continues to shuffle around. Mullis back in that 7th position, Cottle back in 8th. Casey Kerwin continues to watch on there in that Ford, or should we say that Toyota. Lined up, nose to tail, still racing as hard as they can.
And now Sean Conklin, we talked about before, he's up to 9th position right behind them. That's given the top 8 a little bit of breathing room away from the rest of the pack.
Well, we're just getting an update here. Spencer Burns was involved in an incident with Michael Mitchell. They didn't hit anything, so we stayed green. The admins won't let me know, but look at the right side damage. And JD layered a huge puncture on the nose.
Yeah, these guys have just, at this point, been trying to survive. You can see they're a good half lap or more behind the lead pack. Still going 3 wide, trying to make it happen, but it ain't working.
I hate it here for JD. I think JD was involved in that restart debacle, and that's what we've been trying to go ahead and limit incidents on the restarts, because single file back then, you've seen it multiple times, these stack-ups that happen, and I think, in my opinion, that's probably why they went to the 2x2, but at the same time, you got to really stay cognizant, because now the restarts could be even more treacherous. It's really unfortunate for JD. Put a lot of work into this event, one of the best designers on iRacing through Trading Pains, and now he's already on the back burner, needing a caution to get back into this race.
Yeah, that battle was 25 seconds behind this one right now. And then up front, you still have the battle for the lead. Now Movick trying to put the pressure on.
Lines up nose to tail with the 0-1 is Steven Wilson. Those 2 drivers are ready to get their swords out and fight it out. Malik Ray and James Thurston are now wheel to wheel. Casey Kerwin puts it 3 wide up the gut. No one has settled down at all since lap number 1.
Oh, it's getting tight back there between them. They make it happen, make it work, and up front still, that battle for the lead, you see it all here.
Ray to the bottom, Ray to the outside, nearly spun the Dodge. Now he's able to keep it wheel to wheel. Kerwin in tow, and Wilkerson is fading quickly in the fast four now, but looks to lose that third position.
It's going to be tight off the corner. Again, you see them all barely scraping the wall up top, side by side between Ray and Wilkerson. He's got Kerwin back behind that 99 Ford.
Oh, still wheel to wheel. Here's Braden Movick now fighting for the lead of the inside of Wilson. The best in Coke, the best in NR, fighting hard down off corner exit. Wilson holds on. Movick to the inside. Wilson chops the barrel, hold on as he works lap 50 of 250.
What Movick needs now is to try and set up that pass. Wilson doing a great job at defense, but Movick now trying the high side, trying to get a run, as we see Casey Kerwin doing as well.
Yeah, he's looking for the same move here as the Dodge in second. You can see how they just go up that half click, maybe a full lane up to try to make that move off corner exit. I continue to watch Braden Movick, and I start thinking to myself, he's sizing him up. Because he's done this before with Dylan Basin. He'll make you think I'm going to the outside. Then he'll make you think he's going to the bottom. Next thing you know, he's lined up nose to tail, and by the time he makes the move and you realize it, he's already out in front of you.
Well, Movick tried on the high side, couldn't get a big enough run to make anything happen, but has not been left behind at all. These two are actually running away from the rest of them.
Jason Tamer on the bottom pit road. It's wide open.
And you're going to see at least probably a little over half a dozen here.
Marabello just went for a slide right in the rear end. We're going to continue to see that pit road mistakes here tonight. He's now able to get into his stall. Aiden Walker is in. He's lined up, working on his machine. Joey Stone is yet to come on in. Now James Thurston might be working his way on pit road. Very much is a 14-4. He's off and away as times continue on as we continue to race.
And you're going to see the difference now between who has fresh tires and who has those worn out ones. Worn out tires, about 2 seconds or so of fall off compared to fresh Goodyear Eagles.
Kerwin to the outside of Ray. A little switchback. You see Alexander Russell there in that 17. He's a lap down as he just came to pit road. Watch the difference of speed right here. We talked about it. 2 seconds of tire fall off. Watch this. Here's the 17. I'm just going to go around the outside as Kerwin and Ray are just fighting and clawing down on the bottom. That's how big it's going to be a difference. Here they come on the flat.
And they're going to get followed by Caudle and Wilkerson. Ray got it back down just enough.
Here's Anthony Burrows. We haven't talked about him at all. And he's ready to go ahead and put in a timely stop. You still see Riley Marabello on pit road just sitting there. Jim Caudle, Casey Kerwin, Malik Ray, all getting ready to work into their stall. Lined up, back nose to tail. Douglas Newbigging in as well. Chris Downey, Riker Byram. When do the leaders come to pit road? That's what we really want to see.
Well, and you're going to see that difference between them. I mean, the leaders staying out there, but then these other guys getting a lap, 2, 3 laps on fresh tires against them. They're in now. They got to be.
Sliding, trying to get it back together. Braden Movick hand over fist and brings it wheel to wheel here with Steven Wilson. Undercut, overcut. Let's continue to talk about that. How will this race go during these situations? Do you want to go for the undercut, or do you believe with how worn out this surface is, you want to be the last one to come to pit road?
I'm the person, I think, who wants to come in first. Yeah, it's a bit of a risk because you might go a lap down, but you can force the rest of your competition to have to pit earlier maybe than they want to, and you'll have the fresher tires when they're still on the worn out ones.
I agree, and including with how this track has changed up so much, I wonder if the undercut works, but maybe the overcut if we get another long green flag run. We're going to talk about Jim Caudle a lot. Here he is in 14, working his way on the racing surface, and he'll pass these guys with the undercut, but he's a mathematician. He is our mathematician. He knows what he's going to do. He knows when it's the right time to make a move, when it's not. Whoa, battle for the lead. Movick overtakes Wilson coming off pit road. Now the big thing is they were one of the last to pit, so James Thurston will take the race lead in the DriveSmart California 500.
Yeah, they were all on top of each other. Now James Thurston is probably, 2-3 seconds or so ahead of those guys, so right strategy on that one. Dean Brummett up to second as well. He probably pitted earlier, but he's a second back, falling back to Kerwin and Ray.
I worry about Marabello. He might have a long, lengthy stop. He's still back there in that 41st position. He has not moved whatsoever, so they're going under the hood already of one of the Red Bulls. And we're already starting to see some of these drivers with some real fatigue. So 42nd and 43rd are already out of the race. The 41st, 40th, Yeah, they're really back there. Alexander Russell 2 laps down. Chris Downey 2 laps down. Ryan Honeycutt, TCB, 1 lap down. So there's 36 drivers left on the lead lap, at least after the cycle, with still a lot of changes left to go.
Well, and with all of that, if I was looking at the charts right, I think Daniel Mosteller's outside of the top 20 now in 22nd.
Yes, that's exactly where he is, and he's battling here with Cranky now. He's in a mode where it's either I need a caution or I need to really get some speed
But
on this car.
he's been falling back. Started this run, he was around the top 15, now outside of the top 20.
Oh, man. Well, he made the move to Dodge here for the Gen 4. He's usually a Chevrolet driver, but recently his alliances have very much changed. He won a race in NR night with a Toyota. I'm a fan of just keeping things the same, but for Demos, it's a change he doesn't want to see. Here's the change the viewers might want to see. Battle for second. Kerwin and Ray, they're working their way to 1.
Malik Ray looking like his car is just hooked up right now. Goes down to the bottom, makes it look easy. Go into the second position.
Lined up nose to tail on the bottom end. Here's Dean Brumman. He's lined up. Braden Movick. Jim Cottle. Back nose to tail. Man, Cottle let that rear end fly. Off corner exit. And we're back to what? A second and a half for still the top 3, nearly the top 4. They all pit at different times, so they're going to continue to shuffle this deck as this race continues on. For Kerwin, he's now in 3rd. Malik Ray, it's showtime for him.
Yeah, and you look a little bit further behind them, somebody right behind Brumman, that's Braden Movick making his way up, and he's bringing people with him.
He's got Cottle, he's got Wilkerson, he's got Wilson and Schmidt really much in tow. Movick on the bottom, lined in. Lined in with Kerwin, but Kerwin wants that spot back. Malik Ray really playing with fire down off corner exit, but has closed that gap to James Thurston. The gap now at 940.
Yeah, and he's been closing it in more and more. Now 0.8 of a second, 0.7 of a second between the two leaders. Malik Ray, he's coming, and he is coming fast.
Yeah, he's getting ready to roll. Jacob Wilkerson, I continue to look back to him. He's under fire. Here's Chad Thornquist. Oh, their striker Byram up against the outside wall. And they continue to fight and claw their way through. Working lap 59 at 250.
Just because these guys aren't in the top 5 or even the top 10 doesn't mean they're not racing hard. Look at this pack. 3 wide between them with 2 more right behind them. Coming off the corner, keeping it tight. Oh, the 26 around.
Oh, Douglas Snooping hard and into the outside wall. He just nailed the entire right side of his machine. The caution will wave because of it. And that's going to stack things up even more. Here's the wild part. I'll just release stuff behind the scenes. We said it's so spread out because some of these drivers said, oh, there's a 2-car incident back there. Should have been the caution. I said, hey, next incident, just go ahead and throw it because I can't keep track of what's going on outside the top 20. Might have been a little predetermined caution. Good news for the guys in the rear. Bad news for Malik Ray because now he's got to shuffle it up. He's not happy at all with Riker Byram.
Oh, he's pushing him up to the wall. And, you know, John, you talked about it before that he's somebody who can run up front. But if a mistake happens or he gets himself into something or just something happens around him, that's something he has to avoid. And once again, he's collected in what might have been his mistake, but might have been somebody else's as well. We'll have to see on the replay.
That's a lot of damage there, that 26 machine. So the caution will now wave for the second time. And, well, I don't think that's what we meant by incident because we've had a lot of wall hits, but at the end of the day, it will stack this field back up. And for Douglas Snoop-Bigging, at least he got the caution, right? Because for him, it's like, at least we got the yellow out of it.
I mean, he spun in front of a bunch of cars there. Like, it wasn't like he was, you know, out of harm's way on that one. But that car is taking a lot of damage, and everyone coming to pit road.
Yeah, they're going to, while they come to pit road, we're going to go ahead and watch back on it. So here's Doug lined up. There's Byram on the outside in that 96 machine. Oh, you can see how icy it got back there for these guys. Byram hit the wall once. I don't see any real big impact after that. I mean, I'm just guessing he might have gotten loose off corner exit. Oh, look at Jackson Carr with a big swipe to the 96 as well.
Flies down low underneath the 96. 96 is there. Looking underneath that 33.
That's not on Byram at all.
I don't see what Byram did there. I mean, maybe I guess you could say could have went higher out of the corner, but with how slick these cars are, I mean, you just got to hold it where it's at.
Yeah, that was That's all on Douglas Newbigin.
Yeah, I don't see what the 96 did wrong there. Well, I mean, we'll watch it from another angle. He goes down low.
I want to watch it from just...
Oh, okay. That's probably why the 96 didn't go up. He gets loose a little bit right in the last moment. You see him get a little loose.
Oh, okay. So I think Douglas is... So here's the thing.
He probably thinks that he tried pinching him.
Right.
But, I mean, he was just trying to hang on to that car, and the 26 had nowhere to go.
I want to also point this out. These drivers have raced a certain way now for the last 61 laps. He's probably expecting to go up against the outside wall.
Yeah.
So with basically these drivers now in rhythm and Byron breaking that rhythm back there, he probably thinks to himself, dude, come on. But it's lap 61. What are you doing? So for Douglas Newbigin, it's a no good, very bad lap for him. But he will still at least have the race to run. Do you believe the call was correct?
I'd say so. I mean, it was in front of a lot of cars. We saw at least 3 or 4 go by that could have been hit in that had he went back down the track. And there's been other incidents as well. But we got a new leader. Malik Ray is leading this race 62 laps into 250.
It's going to be interesting to see how that files out. We're going to look to see Ryan Honeycutt possibly should have gotten the wave around. I don't know why he hasn't gone around.
There's Spencer Burns. He's going around as well. I think TCB was back there in the 30s earlier. A lot of really good drivers that just are not able to make their way up. There goes the 48 car now.
Yeah, we just gave Ryan Honeycutt that. He was wondering what's the game plan. Well, for the rest of these drivers, it's the one to go. Spam green, paint the chat green. Next NASCAR giveaway is right here on the restart, ladies and gentlemen. That's huge. That's going to be a big opportunity right here. So now you put Thurston in a second. You put Malik Ray as your race leader. Wilson, Kerwin, Dean Brumman and company. Oh, we got a big time restart coming up. Let's get ready to do it. Malik Ray, James Thurston, lined up, back nose to tail, crowd on their feet just one more time. Back underway for the DriveSmart California 500. Wes Edits wins NASCAR merchandise, rolling their way to 1 and 2.
And a pretty good restart throughout the pack there, a little bit in the back. Well, there actually might be a little bit more in the back, but up front, Malik Ray is getting away with the lead.
Man, they've already just gunned it back to that inside lane. Here's James Thurston off corner exit. Let that rear end just hang on out. Braden Movick back in third has already dropped back for the most part. All chasing that 99. It's Ford, Chevy, and Dodge.
Well, that Chevy is looking up a lane off the bottom, trying to get the run. Malik Ray having none of it for now. Keeps the lead, clears him, has a car length.
Steven Wilson to fifth, Cottle to sixth. Thurston to the bottom. Lines in the tracks there, the Malik Ray machine. Braden Movick hasn't given that up. Big time rivals sitting second and third as we look towards the back end of this field. Who's on the move? How about Anthony Burrows? He went side by side towards the back half of this field. Oh, they're still going at it. Look at Burrows on the inside there at Wilkerson.
A little bit of a scrum right here. He's side by side with him still. He's got the 88 car of Mullis behind him as well.
Mullis is there, stuck in traffic now. This is someone who didn't want the caution. And when you see a caution come out just after green flag cycles, there's winners and losers. There's the ones that needed it. There's the ones that didn't need it. There's the ones that are thinking, who threw that yellow and do they have to get kicked out of the tower? So at the same time, you think about this, and all of a sudden you have a brand new race at hand. It's Kerwin back to fourth. It's Thurston to the inside of Ray. And Braden Movick has just let his viewers that love him oh so much have some fun because he's back inside the top 3.
Top 3 might be back inside the top 2. Lining up right behind our leader. He's going to go way up top and try and make that pass with a run on Ray as well.
Well, we've had multiple different lead changes here tonight. Malik Ray might be under fire because that 42 wants it back. Movick to the bottom, lined up with Malik Ray. James Thurston back there in third, lined in as well, back to 1 and 2. Who's joining the party? Kerwin, Wilson, Cottle, and Brumman, all under 2 seconds. That's your top 7.
But up front, it's looking like Braden Mubbock is putting the pressure on Malik Ray. Only about half a car length. This is the distance of the lead. Going into 3 and 4, he's going to keep it up top.
Rips to that outside lane, maybe that third, now that middle groove. James Thurston lined up nose to tail. Mubbock caught the rear end from going around. Malik Ray the drive off corner exit. It's Ford. It's Dodge. Back to Chevrolet, working lap 66 at 250.
And right behind them, they got that Toyota. Casey Kerwin is keeping track of these guys, staying right with them.
You know, we haven't been able to do that one thing here tonight that we both love to do. It's early into a run, but let's go ahead and talk about these guys. Let's say after the Sweet 16. Let's have a nice through the field, powered by DriveSmart Warranty. Malik Ray didn't come into this race right from the gun as a big race winning contender, but he sat around 6th, 7th, and 8th, buying the time, learning the drivers. He leads now. Will he be there at the end? Only time will tell.
Well, Braden Mubbock, your defending e-ticket winner, is picking up right where he left off. He's been running up front all night, been one of the best 3 guys out there in every run, and he is putting the pressure on for the lead still.
Here's James Thurston. He's back to that 3rd position. A horrible outing just a month ago for the last Z-Ticket event. Now lines in with a big opportunity to get something done here. Does he finally get that elusive win and bring Chevrolet home to hardware? Only time will tell.
Well, Casey Kerwin came in here as probably the favorite to win this race. He's been fast all week long in testing, and he's backing it up on the racetrack. Currently in P4, but he's not letting that front trio get away.
Your defending Coach Series champion hasn't really had the best walk in the park here tonight. He is lined up nose to tail with these drivers in front of him, but Wilson still has victory in the eyes of that 01 machine. Keep an eye on him now up inside the top 5.
Well, Jim Caudle, he has been somebody as well who's been, I'd say, just outside that lead pack, but he's staying up there, staying in contention, and he gets better.
Oh, he's in the wall! Stephen Wilson up into the outside wall. Nailed the entire right side. This is going to destroy the entire aero dependency of the 01 machine.
And no fast repairs in this race either. He's fallen back to 6th, maybe gotten it back underneath him, but a huge hit for a favorite in this race.
Well, he drops to 6. You look back to Wilkerson, who's now in that 7th position, and things will continue to change up here. Wilkerson is a driver that has really turned heads here tonight, and he knows he's still got a lot to prove up inside Elite 8.
Up to 8th is Dean Brummett, somebody who was a mystery going into tonight. But the winner of the NWP 400 is backing that up well tonight. He has been top 10 all race long, and he keeps it up now.
Here's Jimmy Mullis back to 9th. He went up there for the lead a couple times, but he knows one thing. Victory is still very much in the eyes of the driver sitting at 9th, but has to make some key adjustments here late to get that car pointed in the right direction.
Anthony Burrows rounds out your top 10. He was red hot earlier this year, trying to pick that momentum back up in this race. Still defending that 10th position, but kind of been a non-factor so far tonight.
Kevin Champagne sits there in 11th. Now, he was one of my picks to go out there and get it done. He started the race off okay, made the show this time compared to a month prior, but he's been making his moves as time has gone on. Can we see Champagne late? Well, I think so. He has sticks on the board looking for an opportunity.
Right behind him is William Schmidt in that 18 car. Keeping it in the top dozen. Schmidt has shown a bit of speed tonight, but he can't make his way through the traffic. It's something that's going to need to be changed if he's going to contend for this win.
Sean Conklin sits in that 13th position. He has turned heads as well. Another possible underdog win. Possibly an opportunity for the 36 to get back into race winning contention. Keep an eye out. A lot of racing left to go.
Abraham Vila has been a bit of a yo-yo tonight. Been up to the top 10, into the back of the top 20. He really hasn't made his way, though, out of this kind of glass container of positions. And at this point, he's going to need to try and maybe make it up on pit stops, if not on strategy on the long green flag run, if he's able to get to even the top 10.
How about Chad Thornquist here in 15th? He's been eyeing a win all year. Well, he's still running this event, but he's talking about this car drives like a boat, while other drivers are saying it drives like butter. So, what is it going to take for this 00 to make the adjustment and get that Burger King team to victory lane? a lot, but he does have some great amount of time left in this race.
As for Drew Jua, he does as well. And this is about the best he has ran tonight in this 5 machine. Look for him to try and make some adjustments on the next pit stop.
How about Aiden Walker? He sits now in that 17th spot. Turned some heads in Michigan, not turning many heads, should we say, now, as he sits in 17th. He has a lot of work to do, but that AAA machine has Ford under the belt and is fighting hard for position.
Now Jackson Carr is up to 18th. He's trying to make his way past Daniel Mosteller. He's been about in this part of the top 20, right at the back of it, but still making a little bit of headway throughout the run.
Daniel Mosteller is also the one fighting him. He just leapfrogged that 33. He is finally getting that car pointed in the right direction. Didn't start out strong, but in a long race like this, it's a marathon. It's all about pacing. Well, sometimes you just need to grab that extra gear. I think he's got it. He's up to 18.
And rounding out the top 20, Riker Byram. He was only probably seen tonight by us, by those who, well, saw Douglas Newbigg and blame him for an incident he really had no part in. He's been around this part of the pack all race long, finally up into the top 20, trying to make his way past not one, but 2 different drivers who we thought would run a bit better.
And Aaron Smith, used to driving that bright machine, he's someone we have to seriously keep an eye out for. Enough said. Battle for the lead. Braden Mummick to the inside.
And to the inside, he's going to clear him for now. But Ray trying to get that run off the corner. Not going to happen yet enough because Mummick clears him for now.
Oh, he's got the speed and he's got the drive. Ray to the inside of Braden Mummick. Wheel to wheel as they work their way to 3.
About even into the corner. Mummick dives it down in there. They nearly make contact. Now up against the wall, so is Kerwin behind him.
Ripping top, ripping bottom. Light bulbs flashing in the grandstands. Everyone back on their feet. This is what they've come to see. Ray versus Mummick. Dodge versus Ford. Mummick to the bottom. Ray on the outside. Both picking different grooves back to 1 and 2.
Same thing for the guys in 3rd and 4th as well. Thurston and Kerwin making their way up to this battle. Mummick clearing way. For now, they're all loose off the corner.
Kerwin slots in, Ray back to the inside. The money move, he's just made a lap ago. He's gonna work it again. A huge lunge to turn 3. Gets him to the bottom seam. Braden Mummick back to the middle. Trying to keep that 99 at bay. Run off, 42. Top of the board, Braden Mummick.
He clears him and he's gonna start running away with it. 2 car legs to lead for Mummick.
All lined in once again. James Thurston, Casey Kerwin. Those are the drivers lined up 3rd and 4th. Wilson, after nabbing the wall, hasn't lost too much time. He sits in 5th. I think he can really thank iRacing's new damage model. If this was the old damage model, pack the bags. You're out of here. But he's lined in and he says, oh, I still got race winning speed. Just a little kiss on the cheek's not going to hurt.
Yeah, that incident's a kiss on the cheek now. That would have probably taken 2 to 3 tenths of speed away from him only, a week or 2 ago? But still, the speed goes to the front to Mummick and Ray. Only about a car length now between them as they get to lap traffic.
Lined up nose to tail. Now James Thurston and Kerwin have company together. Kerwin to the outside in the Toyota. Thurston lined up in the Chevrolet. Kerwin squeezing his way up against the safer barrier. Does he make the pass? Yes, he does. Just barely. Casey Kerwin runs his way to 3rd.
Kerwin's been getting higher and higher up the track, now completely ripping the top right up there in that top lane against the wall. The Larson line, the junior line, the petty line, whatever you call it, he's there.
Malik Ray is back and he said, I'm not done with you just yet. To the bottom with the 42. Lined up, back nose to tail. Kerwin's a driver that will not give up. So is Ray. But Braden Mummick can make this track 8 lanes wide. We've seen it before. We'll see it again working lap 80 at 250.
Thing is, you look behind him and there is Casey Kerwin. He is a locomotive on the high side, coming towards him quick, only 6 tenths back now.
Lap 80 of 250. Lap machine Spencer Burns, he's coming into play. He's next in line. Ray up to that 2nd lane. Does he get that drive off again? Mummick will chop the bow, nose to tail. No one is sitting down here at the Auto Club Speedway. And there's still a lot of racing left to go, and the caution's going to wave. I think it's Chad Thornquist. Oh, no, it is.
And he will not get an e-ticket win.
Oh, that's under the hood.
You can see it underneath the car right there, the puffs of smoke. Heartbreaking ending for this race. And there's Mosteller going to the grass. He probably was involved, I would think, unless he's just joyriding, but not a joyride for this 0-0.
That's unfortunate. Chad Thornquist, a back-to-back e-ticket event champion, won the Geico 500 in 2022, won the Brickyard 400 just after that. But, man, I mean,
heartbreaking finish.
He's just looking for one win. Just one win this year. He's come so close so many times. But this is now, I want to say, his fourth e-ticket in a row he's wrecked out of. Maybe fifth. He's
just had a problem with staying on the track in general this year, and I don't think he's finishing this one tonight. When's the last time he's just won in general?
2022.
Let's see what happened here.
So this is a full minute ahead. So we get a really good understanding of what went down. So next lap is when it happened. He was running with Drew Gila. He was running with Alexander Russell.
He's in his own bubble here.
I don't know, man. This is going to be interesting to see. And you can see Drew on that outside lane. And he didn't show a lot of speed in speed weeks, but he's known for learning this track as time goes on. Big winner here is actually Spencer Burns. He was about to go a lap down, so he needed that caution.
All right, here we're coming up to turns 3 and 4. 0-0 up top.
Did it happen beforehand? Oh, man.
That's bad.
Just nailed him.
That's bad.
Oh, Drew Jewett just got on the back end. Chad Thornquist has got to be livid. Here's Mosteller just going for a slide. Back to the inside in front of Jason Tamer. Will keep it off the inside, safer barrier. But for Chad Thornquist, there's nothing you could have done.
No.
I can't say you could have done anything differently.
No, you got ran into the back of. I mean,
watch it again.
It's hard to keep the track or keep the car going forward when your back tires get picked up off the ground.
Well, Daniel Mosteller locked it down. He's really good at that. He sees an incident. He's like, whoa, 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 drop it back, drop it back. Let's see how things run for the rest of this race. But from the overhead view here at the Auto Club Speedway, Chad Thornquist will not win his 30-ticket event, but Braden Movick has the best shot too.
I'll tell you what, if Mosteller's biggest highlight tonight is he didn't hit a wall, that's a really low bar for one of the best drivers in NR tonight.
Well, Chris Downey is out of the race. And it looks like Marabella is still very much on pit road. Not sure what's going on with those drivers towards the back end of the field, but we got the best of the best still up here. And they've shown that this long race, it can very much be theirs as the caution will come to a standstill. Just one lap to go before we get back rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go green just one more time. The one to go.
We are, by the way, an hour in at lap 83. These guys are going to feel it in these closing laps later tonight because already they have been putting it all on the line, and we're starting to see mistakes slowly be made. You start seeing them back in the pack. It's going to start moving its way up as that fatigue takes its hold on them.
Well, it's been a great race.
It has.
It's been a fantastic race. And I'm still looking at this thinking, who still has the best shot? Because I don't know who, honestly.
I mean, we probably have said 10 or 11 different drivers tonight who at some point had the speed thus far to win this race. And there's still probably some who are just waiting in the weeds.
Pace car will make the hard left onto pit road again. If you're watching this with your virtual headset at the racetrack, what a sight you have seen. The DriveSmart California 500, showing why it's one of the greatest car track combos on the iRacing sim. Lap 83, lap 84, 250.
A little bit of a stack up there behind Malik Ray.
Byron!
And there it happens. In the back, you see the stack up. They're
Went
gonna
around.
keep them green.
They are. TCB got involved as well.
There's another one around in the grass, I think. There's always someone who went
and
through.
that will throw the caution again. And they've got a, what was that stack up back there?
Well, I don't know if it started up front. I noticed that behind Malik Ray, there was a bit of a stack up. I don't know if it just was an accordion to the back or if it was multiple incidents in one restart.
Well, the admins are looking at it, reviewing now, saying we might have to black flag someone for laying back.
Well, we're seeing a replay right here, and you can see the stack up with the front guys.
They're laying
and there's
back.
somebody in the back was laying back, and you see Byram goes around with it. At least that's what we're seeing. We'll see on the replay coming up here. But just like that, we saw it with the USA 500. We saw one of these restart incidents take somebody out, and
Here's Riker Byram on pit road. TCB, I think, has left the premises. He is out of this race. So he is now done as well.
attrition is slowly starting to make itself known in this race.
Oh, very much so. Now the real question is, how did it all happen? So we look back at the replay as they'll go ahead and line up back 2 by 2 here in just a moment. I can't believe that even unfolded, honestly. Like, speaking, these guys were pretty strong, at least to start this race. So we're going to go ahead and look back here. And now let's go from an overhead view, should we say. So this is the one to go. They get stacked up here. They need to close this gap. That's the big thing here. There's no gap close. Mullis needs to get closer, and we're going to see exactly who starts the layback process. Cottle lined up. We might have to see a little bit later. Look at this right here. Tamer.
There you go. You see him on the brakes.
Gosh, you cannot stack it up like that.
So we'll have to look a little further ahead to see what happened, because I saw the stuff happening up front, but that didn't look related at all.
No, it didn't. Start with Abraham Vila. Oh, he's just got nabbed.
Well, so Vila went and then had to slow down because the rest hadn't.
Cannot do that, but it didn't even really start with
Yeah, it didn't even do that either. I think
I probably started with Byram. Let's watch again.
Well, and Garza in the 66, look at that gap. He's going already.
He's got to slam on the brakes.
Yeah, he slams on the brakes. You see the 09 of Shamela go low to avoid it immediately. But that's the thing. You got to close up those gaps, because a little bit of a bump isn't going to take somebody out. Hitting someone from 4 car lengths back is.
Yeah. You see them trying to get that jump. That's their thing. And once again, you're also having drivers that are racing that are only used to the 2x2 era. They grew up in the single file era, but they're used to 2x2. They're used to stacking it up and going. But when you have it like this, it's so easy to get an advantage or not. It didn't start with the leaders at all. So they might be calling for an L1 penalty on Adam Garza, maybe an L2. They're discussing it, as it might have just been on him, because all these guys had the same idea. Jump it. Now, back in the day, they had this restart a certain way for a reason. It's to give the leaders still that advantage heading into turn 1, even with the caution coming out. They really didn't have too many gimmicks in 2007. So with all these other drivers trying to find an advantage, all it's doing is stacking this field up again and again and again.
Well, you got to think too, I mean, not a lot of these guys probably didn't experience even a NASCAR with single file restarts, let alone growing up with it around them, because come this June, it will be 15 years since this was the norm in NASCAR.
Wow. That's a lot to say. So it's going to be very interesting as we get ready to restart this race. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about DriveSmart warranty and how McConey set up shop. Jared, there's a point during this talk we weren't going to have an e-ticket event. We thought, wow. For the ones that don't know, our area was struck by a tornado. Missed our place by about a quarter mile. For you, maybe a football field. And McConey gave us a helping hand. He said, hey, guess what? You guys need to do this e-ticket event. You could do it at my place. So that's exactly what they thought about doing. And what we thought about doing, well, the power came back on about 4 in the morning before I completely head on out to move this setup. But hey, McConey Setup Shop, the best setup shop on iRacing, hands down. I'm telling you one thing, man. If it wasn't for him, probably wouldn't have been that much hope to get this done. We're very grateful for him.
Yes, we are. Can't say enough how grateful we are. As now we come back to the restart, coming to lap 88, and they're still spread out. I mean, they're starting to get it together, but they're still spread out on this restart.
Relax yellows for the restart. They have enabled that. So what happens, happens. Pace car back underway, and we're rolling once again from the Auto Club Speedway.
You saw a bit of a stack up again that time with the leaders. Looking towards the back, they're keeping it clean. And now down on the bottom, Steven Wilson trying to make up some ground.
Oh, Wilson at the bottom. Thurston to the outside, wheel to wheel. Malik Ray to the outside of Casey Kerwin. He works his way through. Ray's under serious fire from the Red Bull.
Yeah, that's the gap between them. Battle for second position. Kerwin gonna follow right in his tire tracks.
Burrows to the inside of Wilkerson. He's looking for his way through. Jimmy Mullis up the 6. He has ran his way down off corner exit. Mullis is a clear threat here to win. No one up inside this top 10 have really pulled away from each other, all chasing Braden Mother.
First battle looks to be about the 8th position between Wilkerson and Burrows, the 43 and the 20. Up front, though, the battle for the lead trying to heat up. No one's getting away.
Malik Ray off corner exit makes the move. Here's James Thurston lined up. Nose to tail. Burrows is ready to roll. Up inside the top 10, but lined up with Jacob Wilkerson. Cottle is in line. Wilson's in line, minding their P's and Q's, trying to get some more track wear back into their machine. Back off corner exit, it's all James Thurston, Malik Ray, and Kerwin still chasing Braden Mubbick.
And it's about 2 car lengths now between Mubbick and Ray, and still that 42 keeping it out front, right ahead, playing defense on him.
Look at Burrows right to the outside. First one to jump top on this restart. Oh, he has a shot here on Jim Cottle. Lines up nose to tail, blocked off by Jacob Wilkerson. Side-by-side battles continue throughout the field. But we watch on for the lead. Malik Ray, the lunge to turn 3.
Not gonna get there just yet, but he is closing the gap. Only maybe a foot between them. That's your gap for the lead. Mubbick leads another lap.
Malik Ray, Casey Kerwin, the best maybe of the rest. Well, the question is, what does the rest have to offer? Wilson and Thurston, huge lunge for the 01. Locks it in front of the 29. Steven Wilson back up inside the fast 4.
Thurston gonna try and pull it underneath them. He's gonna stay in 5th for now, right behind that Army Chevrolet. Looking into the corner, he's gonna stay high, while the 01 looking low.
Malik Ray to the back end of Braden Mubbick. A triple crown is on the line for that 42. No one has ever won 3 ticket events in NR Night in America. Mubbick has won the Florida 500. He's won the USA 500. He just needs the California 500, and he will be etched into sim racing glory. But man, Malik Ray wants to take that back, thinking, I don't care about your past, I just care about now.
Well, and right now, that 42 is keeping it just enough ahead. Keeps the lead, a car length between them. They take the same line through 3 and 4. It looks like Ray has it hooked up on the bottom better, though.
Lined up, nose to tail, drawing down off. That Ford has got the run to the back end of the 42. A peek to the bottom, a peek to the outside. There's no pass in that 42 for now, but Toyota and Red Bull have turned it up a notch. Ray has closed in with Casey Kerwin. Steven Wilson now under fire. It's James Thurston right behind him. Jimmy Mullis ripping top. They're back to their full swing as they were just 40 or 50 laps ago.
Oh, and right behind all of them is Cadell as well as the 20 of Burrows. They're all keeping it right on the other.
Burrows, Wilkerson, Cottle, Mullis. That's 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Who is he that we're looking at? The closer, William Schmidt, with a hard drive down off corner exit. Watching and waiting for something to go right. Ray, the last 4 laps, has been on nothing but an uptrend. To the inside now of this 42 machine. Wheel to wheel as they dogfight off turn 2.
Makes the move, is gonna keep it underneath him for now. Mubbick getting the run off the corner. Kerwin coming up on both of them.
He's got them lined up, nose to tail. The Dodge in view. The Red Bull in view. Sparks off the right side of Wilkerson after nailing the wall. 3 wide looking for the lead. Mubbick in the middle. Kerwin lays off. Here's Ray on the bottom. Mubbick to the point, lap 94.
And now Kerwin goes goes underneath. 3 wide for the lead. Mubik has it entering 1.
Crowd back on their feet. No one lifting. Kerwin, the massive lunge into 1 and 2. Slices the bow of the 99. Way too wide on the 42. Mubik takes it right back. The 2 for 1 and say goodbye for now as Ray's got him back on the hook. No one can get away, and here comes Steven Wilson.
Kerwin made a great move into the corner. Had the lead for about 200 feet. They split him up front. Mubik only about half a car length over Ray. Now a 4-car battle for the lead under a blanket.
What is it going to take to spread these drivers out? They all have one goal in mind. Win. Kerwin, the game of inches to the outside lane. Wilson buys his time back downstairs. This has allowed Mullis to close in. James Thurston to close in. Even Jim Cottle, the top 7 under 1 second going for the lead.
Well, and now Kerwin looking down low, playing defense a little bit on that 0-1 of Wilson. Mubik up front, still keeping the lead from these guys, but they're hot on his tail.
It's been these boys up front that have shown the way. Ray's in second, playing defense, but focused on also going for the lead. Looks to the bottom, looks to the outside, playing second fiddle to the back end of the Dodge. Now wheel to wheel for the lead back to turn 1.
And now right behind them, Kerwin all the way to the top, barely keeping it off the wall. Side-by-side battle for the lead. Mubik gets the run off. Kerwin gets a run as well. Can he go low? He does.
No one is giving up. No one is giving in. Kerwin switched back downstairs. Looks to the inside. The lunge. The heave. Red Bull back into P2. Malik Ray on the outside. Wants it back, and he's going to get it. The Ford will not go down without a fight. What a fight we have here from California.
Down to the apron. Ray is underneath Mubik for a moment. Looking for the lead again. Mubik down about a lane off the wall. Ray right there. And that Red Bull is flying on the bottom. That's Casey Kerwin.
Nearly 7 drivers now under half a second. Ray to the outside. Mubik to the bottom. James Thurston fighting Mullis. That's for the 5th place position. Braden Mubik, the people's champ, to the middle lane. Still finding his way for the lead.
Trying to stay there, but now Malik Ray has that high side. Trying to build up a run. Has it. Malik Ray to the lead in Fontana, but for how long?
California dreaming. One of these drivers will go ahead and nab a victory with them. Ray to the outside. Mubik to the bottom. Steven Wilson. What a drive to turn 1. Takes the lead. Loses it back. Malik Ray back top of the board.
4 wide for a moment, and Ray gets the lead out of all that. Wilson went from top to bottom, back to the top, and to the bottom again.
Now here comes Kerwin with the drive to the inside. He's not going to go for as big of a lunge as the 0-1, but Kerwin's able to keep it in harm's way of the machines behind. Braden Mubik downstairs. Malik Ray on the outside lane. What a race we have coming to lap 100.
We just hit the 100th lap, not even close to halfway, and they're racing like it's the last lap. Mubik up right towards the top of the wall, maybe an inch there. Thurston is going to dive it down in for second.
Rip top, wheel to wheel now for that second position. Malik Ray just wants to get away and not look back. Jimmy Mullis back to 6. He's lined up nose to tail. Jim Cottle in the deuce. He's lined up in 7. It's now the top 8 under a second as Anthony Burrows has arrived on the scene. No one can get away from each other. Ray fighting. Thurston fighting. Now Kerwin back to the line.
And you just see it. You see how they can dive down into the corner, make up so much ground, but that high side is the preferred lane for now, and they keep it up top. Top 5 up towards the wall while that 88 car is catching up to.
Make it now a second and a half within first to 10th. They're all ready to go ahead and just let it swing open. Here's Ray. Here's Mubik. Nose to tail once again. Anthony Burrows in 8th. He is still under a second. What is it going to take for these drivers to shuffle this deck? As James Thurston drops to 5th, Kerwin goes to 4th. I still just can't stop thinking about Steven Wilson's huge run. Just a couple laps ago, he didn't even break.
No, he didn't. They went 4 wide through the corner. And you know what? They're not giving up either. Muppet has not let Malik Ray get out of his sights. That 0-1 of Wilson is right there, still trying to make the move. Can't make it happen now, but he's still within grasp of the lead.
He wanted him right there. You saw him get right to that quarter panel. Braden Mubik is going to do another long drive down into 3 and 4. Here's Malik Ray up to lane 3 or lane 4. Here's Braden Mubik to the bottom. How badly do you want to be considered one of the best on iRacing? You win this event, and for Braden Mubik, it's all or nothing. Malik Ray continues to lead, working lap 103.
Now Wilson trying to make the move on the bottom. He's going to be about in the middle of the track. Not going to have enough to clear the 42. Mubik trying to get the run just to catch up to Ray.
He's lined up back nose to tail with Wilson, Kerwin. I think Wilson's got to give up right here just for the time being. Just want to preface that. Not give up completely, but he's been tearing those tires up. What's it been, about 15, 10, somewhere around that green flag run? Well, money stop time is starting to come up. It's almost like you had some fun at the park and mom's saying, hey, it's time to come home. Guess what? Strategy calls are next. Vila's into 12th. Schmidt's into 11th. They've lined it up back nose to tail. When you let their skill fly, you get this great racing. And I'm telling you right now, this is the best, easily the best racing we've seen all of a sudden.
Well, Malik Ray went down to the bottom, and Mubik went up top, opens the door for him. He's looking low for the lead again.
Yeah, he's going to go for it right here, back to 3 and 4. Mubik to the bottom. The lunge to turn 3. He's going to lock it in, and Malik Ray might try another switchback move.
Loose.
But Steven Wilson is there, right on the tail. Ray to the bottom. Wheel to wheel with the 42 at the line. Malik Ray, no. Mubik led that lap.
And Mubik now has the high side. He has the preferred line. Ray trying to pinch him up towards the top to try and get that run a little bit further down. Behind him, Casey Kerwin, Steven Wilson, they're right on each other too, side by side for the top 6 position.
Oh, Mullis is there. Where do you go if you're Wilson? He sits 3rd. Do you go for the bonside move? No, he lines it up on the outside lane. Jimmy Mullis passes James Thurston. He's up to the 5th place position. Braden Mubik rips top, gets right on that outside of that Ford. Nose to tail will get them back at the line.
3-car draft on the high side, going right past Malik Ray like a freight train. Now, Mubik clear for the lead for now, goes to the middle. All 3 lanes being used by the 3 leaders.
Top, bottom, middle. Everyone else now watching on the tall grass. Mubik swipes the bow of the 0-1 of Wilson. Malik Ray on the bottom, back wheel to wheel with Kerwin. The Red Bull has shined bright under the lights. He's now nose to tail, back to the outside lane. Steven Wilson wants that lead back. Braden Mubik walks it out in front of the nose.
Casey Kerwin back up at the top now. He's going to get past Malik Ray as well. Going to the 3rd spot. He's got to run. Mubik up top, challenged by the 0-1 into 1.
Wilkerson watching on, back in that 9th position, a second and a half back. Keep that in mind, the big battle for the lead again. Wilson on the outside lane. Malik Ray on the bottom. Braden Mubik scooting away as he works his way down the back.
And this is the top 7 positions, all of which only 6/10 between them, battling for the lead. And look at that 88 go low.
Man, Jimmy Mullis is up to 4th. He's making up that time. Jim Cottle is into 6th. Thurston's in the wall. Nails the right side of that 29. A huge lick to the right side paint of the Reese Chevrolet. Put him out of the question maybe just for the time being. He will have to get to work on that machine soon. Jimmy Mullis working forward. Malik Ray working forward. Steven Wilson, top of the board in the DriveSmart California 500.
Not for long. Braden Mubik looking down low. He's going to try for the lead. Kerwin goes with that 0-1 car into the corner. All go in different lanes again. And all this battling has brought everyone all the way back to 13th place. Drew Jua up into this battle.
Man, this is just not over at any question of the doubt. Wilson now to the inside of Mubik. He's gonna get him at the line. Lap 108 of 250. You still got less now than 150 laps to go. You still got 7 drivers under a second of each other. Money stop, money stop, money stop. It's coming. They have to keep that in mind, man. I'm telling you, Kerwin will
will not let that 42 breathe here on Non-AC's back middle wheel.
No, and he was loose off the corner. That opens the door. Kerwin going down low, trying to make a slide job happen. Not gonna this time. They're going low. 01 in the middle, 42 up top, and they're all still under a blanket. Man, Bubba gets loose.
He's under trouble right here, man. He has lost the entire handling of that 42 machine. He was hand over fist coming off corner exit. I worry about the longevity of the 42 machine. He's gonna have to stay relevant in this pack before green flag cycles really do start for these drivers up front. It's back to Wilson leading. It's back to Kerwin in second. Mullis to third. Mavic 3 wide, the battle for fourth.
And they're still going at it into 3 and 4 now. Mavic in the middle, that might help him a little bit. Malik Ray up top, and that 88 car of Mullis is flying.
And no one is giving in again. Mullis under fire from the bottom to the outside. Jim Cottle is just watching this go down. We talk about tire fall off. It has really dropped up, but they're still well over 202 heading into turn 1. What is the deal with this car track combo? Absolutely fantastic racing since the drop of the green flag.
Mavic loose on the bottom. He's going to probably lose a couple spots here because Cottle getting the run off the corner as well. That 42 has burned the tires. Meanwhile, up front, Wilson and Kerwin fighting for the lead.
The battle of the champs. Casey Kerwin, the Red Bull 83. Steven Wilson, the Go Army. Number 01 crosses the bow of the Red Bull, and the duel is on out west. Behind him, Mullis, Ray, third and fourth, Jim Cottle in fifth. What is it gonna take for these drivers to get back in that dogfight mode? I think they're already there as they're back with a wheel.
Yeah, up top, Kerwin trying to get the high side rolling again. Really, really loose. Not gonna make it happen this time.
Lined up, nose to tail. Well, we can catch our breath for about maybe half a second because they're gonna be right back at it again. Ray and Mullis, third and fourth. They're back with a wheel. 4 Coke drivers up front, but it took them 112 laps to line up that way. Now they still haven't gotten away. All this great battling has gotten me excited. It's gotten you excited. I've been reading the live chat. They are just losing it. But what about the drivers that are watching this in 8th? What about the drivers watching this in 9th? Does Anthony Burroughs know something that we don't know?
Maybe. I mean, he is slowly making his way up there. He's been in the picture, and that's what matters right now.
What about Abraham Vila? What about Kevin Champagne? Now, these drivers might know they can't toe-to-toe in a dogfight with the big dogs up front, but they can beat them off speed and strategy. Anyone that understands racing knows you don't just have to be the fastest sometimes to win. You may just have to be the smartest. Cranky almost proved that just a month ago. Dean Brummett proved that in the NWP 400. Is our race winner just not in the picture right now?
Maybe. I mean, I've noticed that 15 of Smith, he is making his way up to the back of this pack as well. He was nowhere near any of them before. So you're starting to see those comers and goers, people starting to get back up towards the front. There's others like we saw Wilkerson early that kind of moved their way back. We're not done seeing that either.
Oh, we're not done whatsoever, and I 100% agree. And you look at William Schmidt, he's been a top 8-15 driver all night long. Drew Jua's only time in the limelight really came from when he got in the back end there of Chad Thornquist. So he's back there in the 12th position. Well, he's got that Hendrick motor. He's got it lined up nose to tail. It's just a matter of time before some of these guys back there say, okay, it's go time. The track's rubbered in. Here's one they want to point out. They said it's mostly going to be a top-bottom group type of race, but even with this being a night race, Jarrett, look at all the rubber on this track. It is all over the place.
You can see it everywhere, and you see it by how they're running all these different lines. We got a battle for third for the moment, not there anymore. But yeah, I mean, it's not even throughout the run anymore. They can get up to 2 or 3 lanes off the bottom from the jump on any restart.
Well, James Thurston went from battling for the lead at one point on pit road, a massive undercut. I'm not sure if I like that strategy, but nonetheless, pit road is definitely opened on up. Malik Ray sits in third. Now, last time we had a strategy call like this, we saw a massive undercut as we see more guys working in. Here's Wilkerson. Here's William Schmidt. Undercut, overcut. I know, Rondo, originally you said undercut was probably the way to go, but do you feel like overcut might be the way in the second half of this race?
I'm still liking what I had earlier, man. I see these guys going in earlier. They're going to have that fresh rubber. I mean, we saw, I believe, That's Thurston that just pulled up on track, maybe 3 seconds behind the leaders. He could make that up in 2 or 3 laps. So
let's ask the chat as well. Undercut, overcut, because I have to go for
there
overcut.
they go. They're on pits.
Ooh, slid that rear end. Casey Kerwin, big lock by the right front from Malik Ray. Now, this isn't a super speedway like Talladega. You can lock up all you want. You're going to go to pit road, and you're going to do what you got to do and get the 4-tire stop. But this is a big-time move because Steven Wilson stayed out. Abraham Vila stayed out. And I'm telling you, they have fresher rubber than those other guys. Jarrett, I'm going to disagree with you on this one. Guess what? I got to go. I got to go undercut. No, overcut, sorry. I got to go overcut.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like the leader's hands got forced there. That's what I'm thinking I'm seeing on this one. But you're seeing him on pit road right now, getting the finishing touches on these pit stops or on the left side. We're going to find out how it all irons out, though.
Vila coming to pit road. They're going well over 200 miles down to a slow entry. And you just see it's just a 1-lap overcut, not that big. Now, for the ones that are watching back at home and wondering, what is an undercut? What's an overcut? Well, here in the States, they usually call it a long pit or a short pit. With me watching Crofty, who I think is one of the greatest commentators of all time, I'm used to saying undercut and overcut. So at the end of the day, it's a strategy call. If you come to pit road earlier, you'll have fresher rubber than the rest of the field. What does that mean? Well, the guys that are out there still on worn tires will go ahead and run slower lap times than the driver that came in. That's a short-term gain. If you do the long-term game of waiting it out, then come into pit road, you'll have fresher rubber for the end. That is a huge strategy call that will play later in this race. Keep that in mind. Jonathan Cadell is now your race leader as we get ready to see how things cycle up. No surprise, James Thurston, after undercutting massively, goes to the lead. Steven Wilson loses it. This is the provisional battle for top of the board with Jimmy Mullis.
Well, they still got to run down Thurston on this one. I mean, he's got a full second on him, but again, all of them right back under a blanket, getting some lap traffic in there as well, but you got this battle with Mullis and Kerwin here. Ray right behind him. And Mubik not letting him go anywhere.
It's been fantastic. How about Michael Mitchum? Up to 7. Now, he turned a lot of heads in the Irish Hills. But now he's back here at Auto Club turning heads. He might not get it done tonight, but he's a young driver. What are the odds that he gets one in the near future?
I think it'd be up. I mean, if you're having this type of strategy right now, yes, he is someone who's probably on the same pit strategy as Cadell, but he's up front right now. He is running currently P7 on the board, so get a little more speed in general in one of these events, and then you have a strategy race, end up with something like this, you could kind of snooker him.
Now look at him. He's been as low as 37 than currently 7. Look at Braden Mubik. Has not left the Sweet 16. And that just shows you how much passing there's been. That's 14th off of a cycle. Malik Ray hasn't been as low as 12. Jimmy Mullis hasn't been as low as 12. Starting to see certain guys be in that same area of consistency. Now I think consistency is going to really matter towards the later half of this race. But we haven't seen a couple things here tonight. And I want to point this out. I accidentally said this in the All-American 400 broadcast, and there was a massive wreck. We haven't seen the big one. We haven't seen the big one in a long time. Matter of fact, we haven't seen the big one in e-ticket since August. We've come close tonight with some stack-ups, but so far it looks like skill has risen to the top. The question is, if we don't see that, do we see these top dogs put it all on the line and make one small move that changes the outcome?
I'm still betting on that happening. I mean, these guys have been going nuts at lap 100 in this race. We're not even halfway. We're about 3.5 laps away from the halfway mark. And they are racing this hard already. And someone like Casey Kerwin not leading a lap yet?
That blew my mind. I was thinking for a moment, I was like, I don't think Casey Kerwin has gotten a lap led. And now that we open it up, 121 laps, this is someone that, after we announced just a couple weeks ago that he was racing, everyone said, oh man, he's just gonna, quote unquote, as they said on Twitter, wax the field. Well, he's been contending for the lead, no doubt about it, but not leading a lap yet. That could change here in a moment, as he's had nothing but good battles. But battling is one thing. Winning the battle is another. Is Kerwin struggling on just getting it done, or is he still playing that long-term game? Because you don't have to lead a lap from lap 0 or 1 to 249. You just have to leave that last one. He's very much stayed in the ballpark of the uncertainty.
Yeah, I think he's still got a little left in the tank here. He's making a move right now on Mullis for second position. They're catching Thurston. He's going to lead that lap maybe in the next 10 laps or so, and I still think he has a lot left in the tank to give.
Well, here's Mullis on the outside lane. I don't think he was too happy that we didn't really mention him in the pre-race show. And guess what? Like other drivers, they take it to heart and they go and show what they've got. Mullis to the inside now of Kerwin. Kerwin's boxed in there with James Thurston. Mullis downstairs. Mullis with the lunge, the run, and that 88 goes back top of the board.
And that 83 is going to follow right with them. They make quick work of Thurston up top, but he's going to try and get a run here and stay with them. Kerwin to the lead, to the line, doesn't get that one.
And Thurston will drop back. He has Braden Mother behind him. He has Malik Ray behind him as well. Jimmy Mullis now lined up with Kerwin on the inside lane. Here's the switchback. Mullis to the bottom. Kerwin on the outside, and Red Bull back under fire by the Ford on the bottom.
Has about a nose on that Snickers machine. Down into 3 and 4. 88 dives down low. Kerwin follows.
He's got him right in the tracks, wheel to wheel. Kerwin, Mullis, Ray, Mubik, fast 4. Malik Ray swipes the bow. He's locked in to a heavy dogfight to the line. Mullis led that one again, lap 124.
We are halfway into this race, and they're racing like we're halfway through the last lap. Down on the bottom, the 88 of Jimmy Mullis running for the lead. Up top, Casey Kerwin flying in the Red Bull.
All riding on the nose here quickly of Malik Ray. You can see the entire difference from these two machines on entry. Watch how Mullis gets this massive lunge to the inside. Oh, he didn't do it this time. He's going to rip the outside lane to try to get that drive off corner exit. Well, Red Bull can finally get their time in the limelight. It took 125 laps, but Malik Ray will go third. Mullis to the bottom. Casey Kerwin led that lap, working their way back to 1 and 2.
But for how long is he going to lead? Now maybe a quarter of a mile. Mullis down to the bottom, looking about a lane off. He's going to get the run off. He's clear for now. Clears him. 88 to the lead.
Oh, still back nose to tail. How about Mubik? How about Wilson back in fifth? James Thurston, Jacob Wilkerson, Anthony Burrows. They've really finally spread on out, mainly for the green flag stops that are made the big difference. But up front, it's still 6 drivers now under a second.
But still, impressive run by Braden Mubik, who now is going for third, following the 2 leaders down to the bottom. Right underneath Malik Ray, they're going to fight again into 1.
Kerwin lined in nose to tail. Mubik on the bottom. And he wants that run, and Malik Ray would like to get back to his race-leading ways. Now wheel to wheel with Braden Mubik, who just still cannot fight that machine right off corner exit. He's been getting loose and loose and loose. I worry about the struggle of that 42 machine.
Well, he's not struggling too awful much. Still in the 3rd position, trying to make that move on the 83 and 99. Can't make it happen now, and this is all going to get Steven Wilson into this battle. Fast 5, all under a blanket.
The 7 back between nose to tail. Now remember, Wilson overcutted by just 1 lap, and now he has arrived on the scene. The question is, can he find a way around the 42? Can he find a way around the 99 and the 83 just to get to Mullis? Will that tear the tires up to the point when he gets to Mullis and back even?
Well, I think right now it's just patience. You got to be patient. Don't make a mistake with, 122 to go? You have plenty of time to make your way up. Everyone is close together. Somebody else will make a mistake and you can get by him.
Here's Jacob Wilkerson. Here's Anthony Burrows. Burrows to the bottom. They're fighting. They're another group of machines, I believe, that did the overcut and saved the hardware. 7th and 8th. Wheel to wheel, Anthony Burrows has won multiple races in NR9. I mean, he swept the last 4 races of the Cup Series. He went ahead and did everything he needed to do to win in the summer months. Back in 8th, I kind of expected him to be mostly in the top 5 at this point of the race. But once again, what do we not know?
Well, and we saw that too with Chicagoland, the Great American iRace. We saw him running maybe in the top 5, in the top 10, making his way a bit closer and closer, and then right at the end, he's the winner. We could see that again. He is all the way up to the 7th position, and probably pretty soon will be 6th past Thurston.
Well, I just want to point this out. Snappy452, you have NASCAR merchandise heading your way. Thank you for being active in the chat around this time. I believe that's what, 4? We got one more left, and you just never know when it's going to come. So make sure you stay active in the live chat, ladies and gentlemen, because we have one more piece of NASCAR merchandise to give out here tonight.
Right now, Mullis holding serve in the lead. Kerwin trying down on the bottom. Can't really make anything happen for now. Malik Ray, he's another one just trying to make his way back up. But that 01 is flying towards the front.
Wilson's ready. Found a way around those two machines behind him. Kerwin's going to try to squeeze him near the flat. Back wheel to wheel, Toyota Chevrolet. Steven Wilson now works his way around the Toyota. Was the strategy right? That's the real question.
We'll find that out as we go. Right now, we're just looking at the battles up towards the front. Wilson is making his way back up there. Kerwin right on his bumper down the backstretch, on that bumpy backstretch at that. He's going to go about 2-3 lanes off. He's almost to the bottom, a little bit lower than our leader.
There's Malik Ray, Casey Kerwin in front of him. If I'm Jimmy Mullis, I fight the good fight here. I let Wilson tear up his equipment, everything it takes, so he can be about even for the next green flag cycle. It's on its way soon. Now, we talked about haven't seen in lap traffic in a while. Spencer Burns is the last driver on the lead lap. He's back there with Jim Cottle. Whoa, what happened with him?
You got it?
Penalty?
Maybe, or maybe just a mistake or spin.
Spencer Burns is in the wall.
Oh, he's looking like a little Ross Chastain there, just on the other end of the scoreboard. But this is about, what would you say, maybe a quarter of the track, half the track ahead of our leaders?
Yeah, Riker, Byram, all these other guys really just sitting on pit road. So we still have 32 guys left on the lead lap that are running around, should we say, just past the halfway point of the DriveSmart California 500. Well, I'm Wilson. I'm sitting in second. I'm thinking I have the best odds of finding my way around. Mullis has to fight, and he needs Kerwin to get to that outside. We've seen multiple times before, just because you take the lead doesn't mean you hold on to the lead. How quickly do things change and the tides turn? This is 5 drivers under a blanket.
Well, and they're pretty far now into this run as well. It's not like they just pitted at this point, and they're still finding different lanes to run in. Some get faster as the run goes on, others fast right at the start, and we're seeing them still all stay right together in this battle for the lead.
Oh, Wilson at the bottom, Mullis to the outside. Long green flag run underhand as now Steven Wilson will take the lead. Can Mullis get it back on the outside lane? Wilson wants to clear. Mullis fights back. Wheel to wheel for the top of the board.
They're still beside each other. That 01 has the edge for now. Now the 88 putting that nose ahead again. Top and bottom, side by side for first and for third.
Oh, he's got him right here, right back to that outside lane. Still wheel to wheel. Kerwin in third. Ray in fourth. Mulvick back to fifth. And Jimmy Mullis is doing exactly what he needs to do to keep Steven Wilson from running away.
And maybe this is just me looking, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think Burrows is making up ground on this entire pack. That 20 car is coming. Look right behind him.
Yeah,
he's coming.
He's less than 2.5 seconds back. And he's going to be a big driver if this race goes green. So if you're rooting for the 20, you don't want to see another caution. If you're rooting for drivers possibly that are outside the top 10, you're maybe saying, hey, one more won't hurt. But with how big this battle is, I kind of want to see this go green. We've seen our cautions already tonight. Steven Wilson to the outside. Steven Wilson, top of the board from California.
And now he's got a bit of a gap between this pack. Can he start to maybe get a bit more of a gap than just a few car lengths? We haven't seen it much tonight, but he's starting to make his way a little bit further. That 88 of Mullis now holding off Malik Ray, who's up to the third position over Casey Kerwin.
Lined up, nose to tail, Ray to the bottom of Mullis. That's the battle for the second spot. Now, Malik Ray was saving his stuff up. He wanted to get him at about even with that 01 machine, and it's going to possibly work if he can clear the fellow forward. Problem is, he can't, so they're back wheel to wheel.
He can't do it, but he is keeping pace with that 01 car. Ray down low has the 83 right with him. Going against the 88 of Mullis down into turn 1. 99 low, 88 top. They keep it right next to each other. Kerwin trying to strike.
Oh, that's tight. Mullis on that outside lane. Casey Kerwin to the bottom, 3 wide for second. 3 machines at rest. Kerwin lays off. Ray won't lay off. Now he does as Jimmy Mullis continues to fight that 99.
And now it is the battle between the 99 and the 83 because it looks like that 88 right by him. Kerwin looking low down the front stretch again. Ray is going to get him.
Oh, man, swipe the bow there of the Red Bull. Malik Ray stays at point. It puts Mullis into second, but I think this is the biggest lead all night on the run. Steven Wilson just 3/10 ahead.
Yeah, they're racing each other, and they're still going for it almost 3 wide again. He is just slowly inching out ahead, half a second ahead of this battle.
Here's Kerwin there in third. Ray back to fourth. Look at these other battles towards the back end of the field. Drew Jewett at 11th. Michael Mixon to 12th. More wheel-to-wheel behind. Alexander Cranky and Dean Brummett have it wheel-to-wheel. Mosteller into 18th. Has not really had it all night as the 6th machine of Walker slams the outside wall.
These guys are just struggling at this point. They're going to need some kind of strategy, something to happen for them to be in competition at this point. I mean, we are closing in on 100 laps to go, and Daniel Mosteller has been a complete non-factor tonight.
It's going to be scary to see wheel-to-wheel. Jimmy Mullis, Casey Kerwin. Mullis has just been the thorn in the side of the drivers sitting 3rd, 4th, and 5th. He hasn't let him go at all. And, well, it's a race. You're not just going to lay over for the next guy. But for Steven Wilson, he's like this because he's been able to open the gap just a little more. What is to say if Kerwin gets through? It's going to be the fight of the night with the 2 former Coke champions battling it out with Malik Ray, Jimmy Mullis, and maybe Braden Mulvick still on hand.
Well, but that's the thing, you got to get by these guys because Malik Ray is now putting pressure on the 83, so he's got to play defense on him. Meanwhile, you're watching the leader just slowly run away and get smaller and smaller. That's $500 getting smaller and smaller in your windshield.
110 laps to go in this race. Steven Wilson running that outside lane. Ooh, Mullis just squeezed that Toyota on the inside groove. Gets to drive back off. He's really racing him hard.
Well, and look at the battle behind him now. Malik Ray under fire from Braden Mulvick. He's on the high side trying to get that car going again. He's getting faster.
He's in the wall. Wow. Oh, maybe just a paint scratch. I don't think it's too much. We've already seen her race leader hit the wall tonight in Steven Wilson.
He's gonna get the door shut on him here, but he's still right up there, 2nd to 5th, all right with him. Look how close he is to that 99.
Gets right to the back end, puts Malik Ray back to the bottom. Mulvick back to that middle groove. There's Casey Kerwin, still not able to find a way around the 88 with their leader just right there. Wilson hasn't pulled away too far, but here comes Spencer Burns. He sits 32nd, the last driver on the lead lap.
And it's not too many else that they're going to come on at this point. Burns is just that far behind. And the 01 of Wilson now opened up about an 0.8 of a second lead over Mullis and Kerwin. And now Mulvick trying to make his way up. He's got past Ray. He's got to try and get to these other 3 now.
Now, if you're Spencer Burns, do you fight because you're known for fighting the leader?
I'd say no, but I'd expect him to.
I'd expect, and I'll tell you why. Last driver on the lead lap. Where is the next driver in tow? Well, that's J.D. Laird. Well, let's rephrase that. Spencer Burns is 1 lap down with Josh Kenyon next on the lead lap for him. He's 28th. All these other guys are a lap down through cycles. So, if Steven Wilson can catch Spencer Burns, he can catch Josh Kenyon. What do? You fight, but there's nothing he can fight for. He just lost it completely.
No, he doesn't even stand a chance against these leaders. These guys in top 5 or 6 are just that fast tonight.
Braden Mulvick in 4th, found his way through. Casey Kerwin's been struggling with Jimmy Mullis. And Steven Wilson, oh, he still has a fight. He's not going to like that one at all, but I believe Spencer Burns will not go down without a fight tonight.
We might have spoke a little too soon, but I think at this point there's enough of a gap. He'll probably fight these guys a little bit too, just he wants to stay up front. But battle for second now, Mullis and Kerwin trying to get underneath the 24. He does give way this time. Really close.
Oh no, that's gonna be tight.
They made it work.
And hold your breath there for just a moment.
These guys are the best of the best out there. They're proven why tonight. Muvik and Ray staying right with them. They got to make it now past the 24 of Burns. And now that 88 gonna pull out ahead for a moment. Kerwin loose, but he's got the run.
Oh, a huge drive pop for the Red Bull. And Casey Kerwin can possibly bring the battle. No, not yet, because Mullis will now finally yield. Casey Kerwin, P2.
I'm going to point something out to you, John. The fastest lap that Casey Kerwin set tonight was a 38.9. His last lap, 41.2.
Wow.
That is, I'd say, about almost 2.5 seconds of fall off tonight.
That's interesting. Interesting indeed. There's still a lot going on in this race that you got to keep an eye out for, because Ray's the 5th. There's Burrows. He's about 3 back, so now he's starting to lose some speed. I wonder if now Ray's got to battle hard with Muvik.
He's trying to, but Muvik is seeming like his car is starting to come on a bit better in this run. Maybe not as good as it was earlier, leading all those laps and fighting for the lead, but he is keeping pace with these guys where we honestly didn't think he would.
Pit cycle once again in this green flag run. Mosteller, Mitchum, Thurston all in. Garza, Brower, and the rest of them, it's time. Steven Wilson only got a second out in front. If you're the 01, do you undercut or do you go back for the overcut?
If the overcut worked last time, try it again this time. I'm really looking at those guys behind him. You might need to pit just to make up some of that ground, but Thurston was a complete non-factor after he got past.
Yeah, he was forced to pit at that moment. I would say in the next 2 or 3 laps, they've got to come in here. If I'm Steven Wilson, I'd just run the same strategy again. The thing is, we haven't seen a caution in a while. 3 wide, Josh Kenyon to the outside, finds his way through the Jackson Hewitt 16. But at the same time, when you look at how things have gone, you get a caution, the worry of another one coming out right away comes into question. I don't know if I want to see another caution, honestly. I think these are the best guys we have tonight, battling it out, doing exactly what they need to do. But if you do get one, do you wonder if we throw ourselves back in a fuel lottery situation?
You could. You very much could, but I'm kind of with you. I want to see it go green just to see what these guys can do. They are putting on a heck of a show for what? There not being a caution for closing in on, what, 50, 60, 70 laps?
Yep, and Jacob Wilkerson, he's one of those drivers in. Alexander Cranky, and the 8 machine is in as well. He's lined in with Conklin. He's lined in. Wilkerson's still coming to pit road. Sean Conklin, the 36, is in. So they're biting now. Wilson has now gone back to that outside lane. I think Kerwin's got to come either this time or next time by.
Well, looking on the bottom, do they make it? They do.
This time.
Oh, he's coming in fast. They lock him up. They both locked him up.
Did he speed?
Did both of them speed? They both locked him up.
Let's look at the driver data. 60 miles per hour. This pit speed limit is 55. If you get to 60, that is your 5 mile per hour buffer. So you got to keep that in mind if you're one of the drivers. Mullis is in. I believe that's Aaron Smith in as well.
Now Kerwin is in as well.
So the overcut by Steven Wilson and now Malik Ray with Muvik. Do they come in this time?
Well,
I believe so.
Yeah, they're looking down low. Muvik does. Muvik's coming in.
I think Ray wants to get on the same strategy, Wilson. He knows he's faster when he just goes toe-to-toe with the 01 machine. Braden Muvik still wants this strategy. You're going to have 100 laps to go in a moment, so time is running out. And I understand someone say 100 laps, that's a lot.
It might stay green the whole time.
It could stay green, so we could be done in an hour, less than an hour. So you just never know how that could work. You got to keep that in mind. If you're Malik Ray and you look at this, 2.5 seconds away from Wilson, does he overcut Wilson? Then does that one lap truly make a difference?
Well, now he's on the bottom. Wilson probably coming in this time. He has altered his line down to the bottom, slows it up. Yes, he is. He is coming, and he nearly lost it, but he has slowed it down to speed.
I believe Malik Ray will join in on the fun as well. Giving Drew Jewell the opportunity to come in. Dean Brummett in 4th. Jackson Karn, fifth. Jonathan Cadell, the Jim Beam Ford. He'll stay on the racing surface for now, and he will hold on to the race lead.
How long did he stay out last time longer than these guys?
2 more than Wilson, or 1 more than Wilson. Okay, we got to keep this in mind.
2 more.
2 more.
He stayed out 2 more. So Wilson pitted at what?
He's on a strategy. He's
That's
on
the thing.
something that we don't know.
The thing is, he could maybe get an extra half of a fuel run.
Right.
And if this goes green, because it could go green to the end, he could pull a fast one on him.
Wow.
I mean, it might not happen, but if that's your only shot of winning, you're not catching him on speed. You're
Right.
just not. But strategy-wise, that is a lot of ground to make up in half a fuel run. But if it's your only shot, go for it.
Now, if they still have 2 more pit cycles to go, Casey Kerwin just retook the lead. He's got Jimmy Mullis right behind him, and I start wondering, Steven Wilson caught them and finally got past them after X amount of laps, correct? Who says we continue green, they continue to undercut, and Wilson doesn't catch them in time when the checker flag waves? I still think the undercut could work. Now I'm thinking about it, it possibly could work. So we got 3 strategies here. Jonathan Cadell could be thinking of a fuel lottery situation, staying out as long as he can to win the race. Casey Kerwin undercut as much as he can to keep Steven Wilson behind there in 5th. Wilson, hope they both have those horrible strategy calls or make a mistake, run right around them and get your first lead ticket win.
Well, and you got to look with these guys as well. I mean, you got some of these other faster cars that are starting to catch this pack little by little by little too. So there are plenty of players. I mean, Burrows is still somebody who's been chipping away. Thurston making different strategy calls as well. So it's all up in the air at this point.
This is a 1-lap difference. Braden Movick, Steven Wilson, 3rd and 4th. Lined up, now picking different lanes. Wilson has had one heck of a night. Hasn't been outside the top 10. Highest is first, started first. Currently now in that 4th spot. He has definitely had the best average so far out of any driver. How does this match up with Braden Movick? Well, lowest is 14, started 5th. Highest is first, but currently in that 3rd spot. So they're almost about even, at least when it comes down to going around the track. But this very much can be a big battle for position.
I will be honest, I think Movick needs a caution. He's one of those guys up front. He's hanging on, but that car, it's just not reliable on these big, long runs. If he's able to get ahead of them on a short run, on a restart, he's able to hold them off. But running them back down, a lot more difficult for this 42 car.
Lined up, nose to tail. Now the battle for the lead is starting to come back together. Jimmy Mullis, Casey Kerwin, originally was a 6-back, now a 4-back. So they're in the ballpark of another big fight with less than 100 laps to go. You're Jimmy Mullis, you've already proven that you're the best in the business when defending. Now can you be the best in the business when overtaking? Lined up nose to tail with now half a second back in the difference. And Braden Movick back to 3 seconds. What's it going to take? And for Malik Ray, you're 7 seconds back. I don't think that was the strategy call at all.
No, I think there's some issues that happened with that one. I mean, he's behind Burrows. He's behind Kevin Champagne, Mitchum, Thurston, Movick. That might have been a killer set of stops and strategy there.
Look at Kevin Champagne back to the inside, so he's back up inside the top 10. Whoa, 3 wide once again as Malik Ray, clearly on the fresher rubber, goes around the outside as his back forward on 4. Kevin Champagne showed speed in Speed Weeks, not really getting it done here. Anthony Burrows back in the top 5. He's closing back in. I think he still has some type of strategy. If you're Burrows, do you want a caution or do you want this to go green?
I think you need a caution. You got to get caught back up. Some of these guys, I'd say if you're more than 3 seconds back, and maybe they prove me wrong and catch up, but if you're in this group, you need a caution now. You need to be caught back up. I think for Movick, you need to be caught back up. I even question maybe if you're the 01 of Steven Wilson, do you need to be caught back up by a caution?
That's what I'm starting to think too, because you look at this, it's Kerwin and Mullis back nose to tail. Now it's back to 3 the difference. I think Wilson's going to catch up quicker than possibly we can expect, just because this Ford and Toyota duo are getting ready to fight for the lead. And if that happens, you throw Wilson in the realm. Now if those 2 are fighting for the lead, they're going to fight Wilson. And if that happens, Braden Movick, maybe Burrows, or maybe we're just overthinking it. At the end of the day, there's still a lot of situations that can happen in this race alone. So you really don't know what's going to happen. If the race stays green, you go very much into the unknown. And as we mentioned earlier in this broadcast, this is the longest run they've done at Auto Club anyone since the oval refresh. So they're having a handling car that they've never had before. Do you have what it takes to go all the way, knowing that possibly still something could change in the last 50 laps?
Well, I'll just update you on this. The intervals right now, Steven Wilson 2.2 back of these two leaders. He is charging now 2 seconds back. He is making up maybe a 2/10 a lap. He is flying right now. Braden Mubbock doing everything he can to stay with him. 3 seconds back of the leader is for the 42. But right now, this 01 looks to be, at least on speed, the odds-on favorite.
190 into turn 3. Mubbock was, well, let me rephrase that. Mubbock was 190 to turn 3. Steven Wilson was 199 or upwards of that. Now he's on the draft. I think these guys are also focused on saving tires. This is a brand new run for them. Clocking 204 should be the norm into turn 1, 202, 203, maybe flirted with it.
Wow, Wilson now 1.5 back, Mubbock 2.8 or so. They're making up tenths per corner now.
Yeah, they might have the big battle tonight. It might come down between Mubbock and Wilson because Mubbock is now in the save mode. I know Mubbock knows how to go over 190 into a corner. Here's Mullis right to the back end of Kerwin looking for his way around.
Well, and these two, the more they battle, the more they are going to bring the rest of the pack in because they already don't have the best two cars out there. So you've got Wilson coming up on him, 1.3 back. Mubbock kind of stalled out a little bit, but he's within striking distance if the top three get all tangled.
This is the fight for the DriveSmart California 500. 4 drivers realistically now to this long green flag run. Mullis to the bottom. Mullis looking for Kerwin. Kerwin keeps it straight. Now wheel to wheel fight for the lead.
Kerwin is gonna fight for the lead. It took him about half the race to get up there, but he's just no match right now for that 88. Mullis taking the lead, has about a car length on it, gonna lead at lap 161.
Lined up, nose to tail. Now Kerwin looking back to the outside lane. No deuce. There's Wilson now in tow. These two can fight the good fight. Wilson 8 back. Mubbock 1-7 back. We're about to see another 4-car duel working lap 161.
Yeah, and these guys up front have not stopped either. Kerwin trying to make the move on Mullis as well. And as this happens, they have been reeled in. That 01 is there. He can get a draft off him if he wanted.
Yeah, he's going to go back to this middle lane, and guys still looking at saving. That's the thing. When you're racing, it's not just always about racing side by side. It's racing the track, and that's what the Auto Club Speedway has done a great job of becoming. You can race the track. If you tore your tires up too early, the next run after a cycle, you save. You save what you can, still try to maintain pace. Mubbock is fixing his strategy right here. After a hard fought after the last restart, it's now in that 4th position. I don't know, man. This is going to be tough because here comes Wilson, and he's coming with heat.
Yeah, Wilson is there. He is no longer catching the pack. He is part of the pack. He is now 3rd position, right behind 1st and 2nd. He has been riding up top, about a lane off the wall. Gonna try and get the run here on Kerwin. Not gonna make it happen for now, but here comes the run.
Lined up, nose to tail. Where's the money move? Looks to the bottom. Daylight top side. Does he take it? No, he doesn't. He works back downstairs. Mullis, does he go to defend? Wilson goes to 2nd. Wilson wheel to wheel for the lead.
Well, he is wheel to wheel for now, but now Kerwin looking right next to him, underneath him. He's going to try and make a move real tight off the corner. 2nd place, 01 car, the 88 looking low, blocking Kerwin. Now back up to the top, going to get ahead of Wilson. About a car length between them, but giving the 01 the top.
Kerwin to the bottom. Wilson ripping top. Jimmy Mullis about to make this racetrack 8 lanes wide. Locks in, blocks in the Chevy. Now gives him the space. Back wheel to wheel maybe. It's all Jimmy Mullis. Mayer driving back to turn 1.
He's got the position now up at the top of the track where he's been ripping it up top and doing well at it all night. That 01 of Steven Wilson going for the lead, has it off the corner, has the run, has the lead over the 88.
He needs something here. It's Kerwin in 3rd. It's Mullis in 2nd. Wheel to wheel, Steven Wilson is scooting away. Mullis to drive in deep. Lined up, trying to get to that rear end. Kerwin to the outside, not allowing that 88 to get on by.
battles back for second as Steven Wilson retakes the lead in the DriveSmart California 500.
We know we've talked about strategy, but speed alone, no one can hold a candle right now to Steven Wilson in that Army Chevrolet. He is just too fast, too strong for all of them up front.
And there's Vincent Gucci in that 23. Just happy to make the show, he said. But right now, he's going to be next under fire, back nose to tail, with your 3 leaders. Kerwin's got something here. I don't think it's over for him just yet. Wilson hasn't been able to pull away as much as he's liked. We might have our 3rd cycle of green flag runs coming again soon. Can Wilson go ahead and pull out to a second once more? He's got to start adding and crunching the numbers here because a lot still could very much change in the closing laps of this race.
Well, and I'm looking too as well when it comes to just this strategy. And they got to use the strategy to beat him. I mean, they just have to. Because that 01 of Wilson, he is too strong, he is too fast, he is too good right now. You can't beat him just off speed alone. So I'm wondering if they're just able to keep up pace, just stay just close enough, and then have that strategy. Do you at that point be able to beat him on that last run of the night? That has to be their hope, because right now, not even the 42 of Mubik, who was probably the class of the field in the first half of the race, can keep up with him.
Mullis P3, Kerwin there in second, Steven Wilson now top of the board. Still out there by about a 2.75, but look at this. Kerwin gets the drive off corner exit, gets it down to a 2.3. Still in the ballpark, the top 2 machines as they work their way back down to turn 3.
I have noticed something though. That 01 of Wilson, maybe he's holding back and saving a little as well, because I'm looking at, well, the eye test, and these 2 have not been able to really fall away. They've stayed for the most part with them, but even looking at the intervals, Braden Mubik is actually making up time a little bit, going from a 2.4 to now 2.2 seconds behind him. Not much, but it could be that these 3 leaders now are saving their stuff.
I don't know if you just heard that. They're breaking way now before. So they're in a save mode right here. Kerwin has closed that gap. So a lot is changing right now. What's great about racing, you go off of sights, visuals, hearings, everything in between, all senses, and you realize things are changing quickly. Wilson's starting to realize, hey guys, we might have to save a little bit more. What's the strategy call here now? We said lap 23 to about, what, 32, 35?
Good take.
Let's go ahead and crunch the numbers. We're on lap 168 right now. So let's say
We have 82 to go, going on 81.
let's say a clean 30. So that's 1, that's 2. Some of these guys might be able to sneak in to a 2 or a 3 car stop. That's what we're looking at. They go to lap 30 now, lap 169 right here. Let's say they ran about 10, 15 laps. So let's go 20. 1, 2, 3. They could be making a 3-tire stop from what it looks like.
Another battle that's heating up is battle for 5th. Malik Ray now has Anthony Burrows right near him as well. This only 3.3 behind the leader as well. So they're all coming together in this save mode. Kevin Champagne is keeping up when it comes to these guys, and the top 7 or so might be able to make some sort of strategy in it.
Well, I'm looking at this as this is going to come down to a 2-tire stop or a 3-tire stop for a lot of these guys. That's what you got to look at right here. So you can be 5th on back right now, and you can still say, hey, we're not out of this. It all comes down now to strategy. This is what this long green flag run has not produced. Wilson, Kerwin, man, they've been pushing since that start. I'm telling you right now, I think they're saving a little bit more because they are forcing themselves now to realize, we may need a 2-stop versus a 3-stop. Keep that in mind. Still a lot of shuffling left to go, working lap 170.
Yeah, we still got about 80 laps left of this event, but Braden Mubik is staying within eye shot of these leaders. He is not letting them go. They're all starting to do that saving mode now. You gotta wonder.
Yeah, very much. I hate to cut you off there. Mullis looked like he was driving an electric car.
Watch
through 1 and 2.
Yeah, let's watch the intervals here. The speed 193, 4, 5, 6. He might be around full speed, at least on the backstretch.
Now we know the tire fall off is huge. It's about 2 seconds, maybe 2.5.
Yeah, they're setting out 41-second laps now, just like they were at the end of the last green flag run that we had. But we're looking at almost 100 straight laps at Auto Club Speedway of green flag racing nonstop, and we're starting to see the haves and the have-nots in this race. And I believe we still have, what, 26, 25 still on the lead lap, too? This is not over if some sort of incident happens, which we have seen in races like this.
Let's look at Braden Movick's intervals. Now, I knew he was saving a lot earlier. He's down to 2 and maybe a 2-1 into the outside wall. I think he's using too much of the racetrack. Got down to a 192. I still think he's in a different mode of these guys. 2 seconds back. So that's the strategy for them. A lot of these guys are all in a different area. So that's the big thing about racing in NR. If you can catch what's going on, it's a danger, because you know things are going to continue to shuffle. If I'm Kerwin, if I'm Wilson, and I'm Willis, I'm thinking, oh yeah, we got this nice lead, but then we're going to pull the rabbit out of the hat soon and try to make some magic work. It's happened in the past. It could very much happen here.
Well, and we've seen it with different races. We saw it with the USA 500. We saw the fuel strategy work till the last corner of the last lap. Shades of Dale Jr. 2011 Coke 600. Shades of you name the race of running out of fuel at the end. But we've seen other ones. Chicagoland we had earlier in the summer, where the 2 leaders ran out of fuel simultaneously 1,000 feet, maybe 500 feet from the finish line. That's how close it can be. So any bit of saving on these long runs is perfect for that kind of strategy.
Yeah, it's interesting. So for the ones watching back at home, it's either a 2 or 3 stop strategy from here on out. The fuel has just been guzzled up with these Gen 4 stock cars. So this is now the strategy. Did you push it too hard? Can you lay it back? What's the next game plan depending on how things roll? If I'm Steven Wilson, okay, now I got back to a 3, maybe a 4 lead. Haven't been able to open it that much, but we got drivers now on pit road already making their stops. Gavin Austin is in.
Gavin Austin was the last car on the lead lap, and so this is probably just an attempt, some sort of way to stay on the lead lap, get those fresher tires, hope that there's a caution when everything cycles out, you're still on the lead lap.
Spencer Burns, Kirk Mills. Mills to the bottom in 25th. Now, we haven't talked about Mills a lot in this race, but he's been someone that's just riding around, holding on.
Down on the bottom. Is that the 23, I want to say?
I don't want to say it was Josh Kenyon. It might have been Vincent Gucci. There he is.
Do you think he maybe lost on the apron or something? Or he was in the pits?
Well, let's go ahead and have a replay. This is him coming off pit road. Very easy. There really wasn't a mistake. Now, I did see him originally on pit road. So he's down the flat, there of 1 and 2.
Oh, he did. He did
got
lose
the
it.
grass.
Yeah, he got a little loose into the grass. Oh. Now, we've seen before, and it's a good thing he didn't get in the way. No caution. Shouldn't be a caution there. We've seen that cause a caution in long green flag run events like this before.
And that's another thing about green flag pit stops. You got to hope for the entire field to not make a mistake.
Yeah.
Because we've already seen these guys really push the envelope coming to pit road. I think Kerwin's got an idea here. Let's run with Wilson. Let's stay with Wilson. Next time Wilson comes in, we're pitting as well. And then on the next cycle after that, we either try to overcut, undercut, try something different. I think he wants to be evened out with this 01 machine. I don't think he wants to go out there and just maybe try the same strategy over and over. Braden Movick 2-5 back. I like what he's doing here, there and forth. He knows he just needs one more good stop to make something work.
Well, and you're looking maybe the top 5. These are the guys who are going to decide this win. Anthony Burrows, Kevin Champagne, they have fallen off from these ones. 3 seconds is the gap to the top 5. Not as close as it was earlier, but they are all keeping together. They are keeping tabs on each other. And I think this pit stop here is probably going to eliminate, if it goes green the rest of the way, at least one of these guys. Somebody is going to make a mistake in these last couple.
Oh, there's Movick there in 4th. There's Malik Gray in 5th. Anthony Burrows hanging wide in 6th. Kevin Champagne in 7th. Drew Jewell in 8th. Aaron Smith in 9th. Wilkerson in 10th. You can see how much they just lay that rear end coming off corner exit. So they're still having handling issues. Conklin in 12th. Alexander Cranky in 13th. William Schmidt, Aiden Walker, Abraham Vila running out that Sweet 16. Mosteller, I believe, just came back off the pit road.
He's a lap down in 25th.
James Thurston is in.
That's going to be interesting to see if he's able to make up any ground. a little too far back probably to make up any meaningful ground for the win, but up front, they're staying with each other, and those two behind them are keeping up with each other as well.
Kerwin is there. This is going to be the battle for the lead. Wilson and Kerwin, the 01 and the 83 machine. Well, Jimmy Mullis is also watched on. A lot of shuffling. Here comes Kerwin to the inside, trying to find a way around Wilson. Couldn't get it done. Lap 179.
Right in the tire tracks of that Army Chevrolet. Kerwin dipping his nose low, not going to make it happen yet. He's looking high this time, while the 01 looks low with the 88.
Oh, still looking for that shuffle move. Wilson under fire right before green flag stops really take place for them. He's lined up. Wilkerson is in. Walker is in. Conklin is in as well as the top two are under an S.
You're starting to see more people that maybe need to make desperate moves, pit earlier, way earlier than the rest of the leaders. And still up front, these guys will stay out again out of the pits fighting for the lead.
So much to look at. Still a lot of shuffling left to go. If you're Jimmy Mullis, what do you do here? Do you make this a three-car battle for the lead, or do you let Wilson and Kerwin just duel it out? If you're Braden Movick, undercut, overcut, look who's on the way, Malik Ray.
And Aaron Smith in the pits as well. Guys in the top 10 are pitting. Ray up to 5th. He's going to keep it up top. Try and get a run on Movick, but not going to happen just yet.
It's not going to happen this time at all. This is getting real interesting here because now Malik Ray's into view. He was 7 seconds back, Jared. He's now a 2.7, a 2.6 back. He's closing on in, and if he can overcut just that little on that 01 machine, Malik Ray's right back in play.
I think they can now for sure make it on 2 stops. We have currently 68, 69 to go. If they can get it to a 34, 35, 33 lap run, they're making it. I don't think the problem is fuel. We've known the problem isn't fuel. They can make it longer. I think they're saving their tires right now.
Yeah, it's going to come down to tire wear, no doubt about it. And Kerwin is going to go for the ones to turn 3. Locks it to the inside. Wilson will now fight back on that outside lane as they go back wheel to wheel. Wilson goes top. Kerwin comes to pit road.
And he again slides it. There's Malik Ray. He's burning it in.
Man, Burrows is really bringing that speed on in.
Oh, and he got hit by Kevin Champagne, too.
Did you see what Kerwin did there?
Yeah.
He fought Wilson like he was going for the lead to have Wilson maybe burn up just that little bunch. And guess what he did? Brought it to pit road.
Got in a lap early. He's going to be able to pass this 01. Braden Movick staying out longer. He's probably going to try and do the overcut on this one.
I'd say that's the move. I think that's what he has to do. You can't bank on a caution anymore. You had your cautions early in this race. Now you got to worry about how the rest of this run will go. Here's Drew Jua. He's fighting now for that 3rd spot. You look at Braden Movick now coming on in. Does he come with Wilson? No. Wilson will go up now 2 laps ahead of those machines.
Wilson can do that. He can because he knows he has the fastest car out there. Even if they do pass him, he's made up 3 or 4 seconds in the span of 10 laps. He'd be able to run them back down. Right now, he can run any strategy he wants and know that in 10 laps max, he's getting the lead.
All right, 2 tires stop. There's Kerwin, now 1 lap behind him. I'd say Kerwin, and I would say...
He's pitting here.
Yeah, I was going to actually just talk about that for a moment. Wilson,
down.
tight coming in.
He's got it fine. Oh, he locks him up, but he should be fine.
Now, here's the thing about Kerwin. If Kerwin and Mullis fight each other hard, it continues to give Wilson an opportunity. Here's Jonathan Cadell.
Staying out again.
What's the game plan here? Is it for him a 1-stop, 2-stop?
Well, they're pitting right now with, what, 65 to go? So you cut that down. Let's say 66. Let's be safe on it. 33 lap runs. Cadell is going to probably have to cut it down to...
Look at that. That's on a 2-stop. So if they pit within 30 laps of each other of every cycle, that's 2:45.
But if they can get it just a couple laps further, which they were saving, they should be able to be right on the mark.
It's going to be close.
But Cadell, he's going to know he can make it.
Right.
So he's just hoping they run out and hoping that he can just keep stretching it little by little, because right now He is 6.1, 6 flats, but he's losing tenths every time I'd say a word to the leaders, or second or third. He's going to pit this time
His
by.
idea is make this the final stop. It has to be this right here. Oh, man, that's
So
close coming on
he's
in.
65 to go is when he's pitting, which will mean he'll need to
No,
make.
he'll need one more. He'll need one more.
He'll need a 33 and a 32 lap run to make it to the finish.
Right, so
That's doable.
that's doable.
That's
He
very
can do it.
Well, and all he has to do is just save gas. We know he's not going to run him down. He hasn't been a factor all night off speed. He just needs to make sure that he is able to stay ahead of them with one stop to their possible two, or they're going to have to save the whole time, and he can just barely get ahead of him.
Burrows, Mavic, that's the battle for fifth. Anthony Burrows has now found his way in the top five, but Mavic did do an overcut on him. Malik Ray is now in that third position. He is the cross example to Wilson. Now, Malik Ray's driving style is very different. He is hard, he is fast, he will keep you behind at any moment.
Battle for the lead.
Mullis to the bottom of Kerwin. Jimmy Mullis, new race leader in the DriveSmart California 500.
And now we see the lapping Cadell. That's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. He'll have fresher tires, doesn't have the speed though. But yeah, Mullis, Kerwin, they're just trying to run away. They got a
Way
second.
out of the throttle, man.
They got a second on Malik Ray. They got 1.5 on Wilson. Malik Ray is coming though. He is running them down. Braden Mubbock 2.7 back. He didn't lose anything there. Burrows 3 seconds back. Kevin Champagne 4. It's
Malik
getting
Ray
close.
just put himself back in this race.
Well,
Unbelievable.
And looking at it here, I mean, the lap times too. Malik Ray just ran a 39.3. He was about 7/10 faster than the 2 leaders, about 2/10 slower than Wilson. Braden Mubbock is running laps around the same as Wilson. He just needs to somehow make up that time.
So they've all figured out a strategy on how to gain speed without a caution. I'm going to say that again. Gain speed, gain momentum, make strategy changes without a caution. And they're all back in it.
We haven't had a caution since, what, lap 86? It's been over 100 laps since we've had a caution.
Please stay green. That's what I'm hoping for.
Because look at Cadell, he's not giving up. He's got the speed right now with the fresh tires. Not only to stay with them, he's passing them. That might be their competition right now.
Yeah, he's going to try to do it in one more stop. These other drivers in 2, Wilson on the bottom, Ray on the outside. Casey Kerwin keeps the Wilson machine at bay. Man, Malik Ray nearly lost it off the rear.
Oh, and he hit the wall again, but he's staying right with them. And a smart move there by the 83 of Kerwin, blocking that 01, closing that momentum down so he can't get by you, holding him up as much as possible. And with Malik Ray up top going 3 wide for the second spot, it's just going to slow him down even more. Wilson gets loose. They're still 3 wide for second.
3 wide, holding on. What's it going to take here for these drivers to make that move? Wilson on the bottom, Ray on the outside. Malik Ray trying to find his way back into that second position.
And now Mullis up front. He has to hold them off, but Malik Ray is not giving any quarter to that 01 car. And they are still holding them back, and what this is doing, it's bringing Braden Mubbock into this battle. He went from being about 2.8 back. He is now about a second and a half behind these leaders now, and he is coming fast.
Oh, the drive off corner exit. Malik Ray in tow. Steven Wilson right to the rear end. Where's the move on that 99 machine that tried to turn 3? Wilson ripping top. Malik Ray in the middle. Mullis on the bottom. Kerwin is fading as the top 3 duel it out.
Well, not fading for long. He's making up that ground all over again. Battle for second. Ray and Wilson beside each other. Mullis watching it all go down. He's going to block the 99. 3 wide for the lead.
Inside Wilson, outside Mullis. Malik Ray looked to the middle. Couldn't get it done. Steven Wilson back top of the board.
And he's still going to have that 88 right behind him, looking low now. One last attempt for the lead on this run. He's diving low. They're even into 3.
He's got to really throw that lunge in there and lock the rear end on the nose of the 01. He's going to slide wide. He's going to keep him nose to tail. Wilson with the switchback. Wilson with the drive. Steven Wilson toe-to-toe for the lead.
But if he can stay on his quarter panel, he'll have the high side, be able to get that run. He clears himself past him.
And Mullis go back to the bottom. He very much can. Runs the Snickers 88 down to the bottom. No try just yet off exit. Steven Wilson regains the lead in the DriveSmart California 500.
And now the strategy games have to start up all over again. Cadell, last car in the lead lap. That's another one we're watching. He's able to stretch it in 26th position, yes, but still not a lap down. He's right ahead of these guys.
Kerwin looking to the inside of Malik Ray. That's back, nose to tail. Jimmy Mullis lines up with Wilson. He's starting to fade ever so often. Casey Kerwin, Braden Movick, Anthony Burrows, and Kevin Champagne top 7 under 4 seconds, but that 01 machine will start letting those floodgates open. It might be time to consider him as a winner if things go right on that next set of caution laps. Oh, let's rephrase that. On the next cycle of green flag pit stops.
Yeah, but it's still, I mean, you're going to have more than likely one stop for everybody. They're going to have to save more. And if you're able to go that lap further, like the rest of these guys have been going than him, you then are at a disadvantage on the fuel side of things.
Ray side by side now with Kerwin. Kerwin on the bottom. Ray on the outside. Jimmy Mullis lined in nose to tail. Malik Ray just has not given up whatsoever, and he's put a pounding on the machines behind him. Leapfrogs to third. Kerwin back to fourth. Wilson nearly a second lead, but he's got lap machines right in front of him.
And still about, I'd say, 7-8 tenths of a gap he has on him now. He's running down some of those lap cars, yes, but again, he is such a fast car. I don't know if it's even going to matter to him.
There's Kerwin, there's Ray, nose to tail back to the outside. Kerwin to the middle. Ray up to lane 3. They're back with a wheel. They're going to find it out. Braden Movick has now closed that gap as well. They're in fourth. They continue this shuffle, but with Steven Wilson out in just one more lap, that's all that's making the difference here, is one lap on all these guys. It's becoming tougher and tougher for them to make something work. Do you have to now somewhat pit on Wilson's side, or do you wait one more than him? Can you even do that? Wilson might have them boxed into a strategy call.
I think you just got to keep trying the strategies you do, because you were able to get past Wilson on these strategies, and you just got to try and hold them off. Hope that it comes down to a fuel lottery. Hope that it comes down to strategy.
Don't look now. Lap traffic. Gavin Austin, Joey Stone, Jonathan Cadell. They're lined up. They're ready to go ahead and let one loose. Jimmy Mullis in second has lost speed to Steven Wilson. Wilson on the outside, 8 back. 7 back. Whoa, lost speed up there, as I think he was trying to avoid some of these guys, as Gavin Austin will now work his way to pit road there in that 26th position. 197, 198 this time by. Still a lot of racing left to go, but time's still running out.
It is running out, and you're seeing Malik Ray. He is desperately trying to get past Jimmy Mullis, trying to get that second spot, get himself in better position when it comes to this strategy call. These three, though, cannot get away from each other.
No, they can't. This has been the big four all night long. At one point, it looked like the big three of Kerwin, Mullis, and Wilson. Then Malik Ray put himself back into contention. Braden Movick back there in 5th, 2-7 back. What is it going to take for this thing to turn on its head? A lot of racing. I can't say that anymore. Left to go, because you're coming out of the final 50 or so laps. This will do it, depending on what's to come. A long green flag run, changing the outcome of this entire race.
Yeah, and we've seen just as it continues to go, we're eliminating each person. Like somebody like Burrows, who we thought was in this, he's now almost 6 seconds back. Same with Kevin Champagne. I don't see how they, going on the same strategy, are going to make anything out of these leaders. Right now, it's the top 5, and Mubik is just barely holding on by his fingertips.
Here's Malik Ray. He's going to look to the bottom here. I think we see guys coming to pit road on a strategy call. There's now Vincent Gucci coming on in. They might split this up. They're thinking of splitting this thing up right here. If they pit with, I want to say, 30-ish laps to go, that's going to completely throw some cycles for a loop. So get ready for drivers to do a severe undercut here soon.
I mean, if it's your only shot, there's no point in going for second. Or below that. You're needing to win. That's it. That's the only position that pays out. Now we watch Malik Ray. He's gonna clear. Yes, he does. He clears him for second. Malik Ray using the lap car as a pick. He's going to be able to get to the second position. Can he do anything with Steven Wilson?
And can he fight him? That's the real question. You might be able to catch him. Fighting Wilson's going to be a new tough battle that's left to go ahead and run. You see Gavin Austin at 22. He just came to pit road. He runs to the back end of Malik Ray, and he's going to be boxed in with Mullis. He's going to be boxed in with some of these other machines. But at the end of the day, what do you have for the 01?
Man, you see the difference, though. Look at this difference. That's Gavin Austin, someone who's run about 25th all day, just blowing by the leaders like they're stopped. And now we see, I believe that's Thurston in. So he's probably just trying a last-ditch effort, try and split these runs up a little bit.
Well, he hasn't had the strategy. That's the big thing you got to look at. He has not had the strategy whatsoever. Ever since that huge undercut, I think he was banking on a caution coming out at some point. But it's just not happening, clearly. So with 49 laps to go, he's either doing a last-ditch effort to have a caution come out in the cycle, or just maybe hoping something crazy works. Malik Ray back there in second, 1-9 back, closing in. So you still have that possible pendulum swing from first to second. Mullis has closed the gap still as well to Ray. He's in more of a, I wouldn't say a hazard, let's go with nuisance. I would say a nuisance to the 99 than anything, because Ray has definitely been quicker. At the same time, Mullis has just been sitting there and making it difficult. Here's the thing, Wilson has lap traffic, and this could be the big difference maker come the end of the race if you got it locked down.
Well, and what the thing is Gavin Austin caught him at a terrible spot for the 01. He caught him on the high side at the exit of the corner. He wasn't able to finish his exit. That's going to lose him time, or at least keep it even. Whereas the other guys caught Gavin at a really good point on the back straightaway. They didn't lose any momentum. So what they need is for this to happen.
Yeah,
they need the lap cars to hold up the leader enough that they can at least stay in range. They're still losing time, but now because of having to be behind so many cars, Wilson's lead just went down by 0.3 to Malik Ray.
It's going to be tight right here. There's the 45. Joey Stone going a lap down. There's Malik Ray, 2-3 back. Still really no change from him. There's Eladon Contreras on the bottom.
I'll give a lot of these guys credit for staying on the lead lap over 400 miles, but at this point, you're just seeing these guys. They're probably in the car, just slumped over the wheel, tongue hanging out there, tired. This is where the fatigue sets in, and this is where, as Wilson, you have to worry, because these lap cars, if they make a mistake and collect you in it, they're no faster
to anyone, because they still have a bird's eye view. This means there hasn't been an incident on track warranting a yellow at all. Not a spin, not a slide. So you got to keep that in mind. And for Steven Wilson, you start realizing now maybe you have a little bit of a shot over Malik Ray. It's back to a 2-4 now from first to second.
Yeah, and these guys have not let each other go. It's now 2-1, 2-2. It's staying in that range, and that's what these guys need. They need about 10 laps to still be in that 2 or 3 second range, be able to leapfrog in some way the 01, but someone who's catching both or all of them is Braden Mubik.
Yeah, he's 4 back, and he's going to be fighting with these guys quickly, so he's definitely made up time just off raw speed alone. Lap traffic for Wilson possibly means tearing the tires up. For Malik Ray, he might have a strategy here of trying to pit whenever they really get the opportunity.
Battle for third.
Here's the thing. When do you come to pit road again?
Well, I think before you come to pit road, you got to settle it with these guys. And right now, the battle for third, Jimmy Mullis and Casey Kerwin have not let each other go. And Malik Ray had the speed. He might have burned his tires up against him. He has not been able to run away from either of these guys.
Jimmy Mullis sitting there in third. At 1 second, he's the aggressor. Then next thing you know, he's under fire. Right now, he's kind of slumped in the middle of these two machines. Malik Ray there in second, Casey Kerwin in fourth. You still got Mullis down to that inside lane who's still playing cat and mouse games with these guys. But at the same time, Wilson still pulling away, including with lap traffic at hand.
Yeah, and I mean, you see these guys. You see Garza, you see Cadell. They are not bad machines. They're still like top 20 or around top 20. This 01 car is making up so much ground on them right now, and on the leaders too. Malik Ray able to hold the second spot over these guys, and still Braden Mubbick now has stalled behind them about a second and a half back.
Yeah, he's trying to get something going. I mean, he got back down to a 4 flat, but it really wasn't enough to make that big change of pace. If Wilson can lap Cadell, he might think he has something great here. I would say these guys might have to pit in the next, I wouldn't say 10 laps. I would say the next 3, 4, 5.
Give or take. I mean, look at the way the 01 loses it in the middle of the corner, loses that ground, but he's able to make it up with the momentum he has. He's just cruising right now.
Oh, one's coming to pit road. That might have been Contreras.
Yeah, I think it's a 38.
William Schmidt is in. He's on pit road. Aladam Contreras is in as well, so they're starting their cycles. Okay. What do you do if you're Jonathan Cadell?
You got to lay it out as long as possible and just hope that these guys run out or have to pit right at the end. That's what you got to do. He's a lap down. That is your only shot at the win now. Try it on strategy. If that means, I don't know, if it means right at the end, instead of a 4-tire stop, you take 2 and just hope to God that they hold on that much longer, you do that. But that is huge for that 01 of Wilson to be able to lap him.
So for some, this will be their last stop. For others, they're going to be forced to do another one.
Yeah.
If you're forced on the 2-tire stop, you just mentioned, or if you're forced to go to the next stop, do you do the 2 tires? Do you really pull that out with how worn out this surface is?
I think if it's only with a couple to go right at the end of the race, you got to do whatever can leapfrog you past Wilson. Wilson right now, I mean, 3 seconds is the lead, and it's not getting any smaller either.
No, not at all. You look back at, you just talked about Mullis. Where's Malik Ray? I think he did a severe undercut here. He's on pit road. He's going to do this on a 2-tire stop. So we know they're going for 2.
No, that's four tires there.
No, sorry, two pit stops. So 2-stop strategy. That's what the 99 is going for. Okay, now he's on a different strategy. You got to keep him out of the ring. So Burrows, Mubbick, and all those other guys, he's looking to be there just at the end for Malik Ray. Who's next to bite with that strategy? Ray, 2-tire stop, or 2-stop strategy, should we say. There's a lot going on behind the scenes right now. They just got hard data just flying through. If Wilson now stays to about, I want to say lap 35, he has to save fuel. He's going to be forced to save fuel. You cannot go past 32 laps, in my opinion, without just saving it.
Or saving the tires.
If you're Mullis, you're going to be forced to go on a 2. I like what Ray did here. He's like, hey, I'm going to be stuck on a 2-stop strategy no matter what. Undercut, let me get that speed back, and then we're going to go again.
It's a smart move. It is. And these other guys should definitely check it out. Look how much faster he is. He just split both of these guys that he was battling with previously, and he's going to unlap himself probably in the next lap or 2.
Right, and he's going to have just the speed on his side. There's now Wilson working his way down to turn 3. Jimmy Mullis now just joining on in. We wait and see. That's all we can do now, really, to see what's the movie. Went down that flat. Usually when they go down to the center of the corner, they're thinking about it. Adam Garza is on pit road. Who else is thinking that 2-tire stop, 2-stop strategy? Wilkerson, Garza, Walker. Those guys are looking on the 2-stop. We wait till lap 35. You go lap 35, you're going for the 1-stop, but that's when the fuel lottery comes into play.
Well, and so we're going to watch these guys now.
Smith also in, going for the 2-stop.
So for sure, Malik Ray, 41 to go. He's probably going to pit with, 6 to go? 7 to go?
Yeah, I would say.
Gas and go. Hope that you make it.
Or maybe he just splits it in half and keeps the fresh tires and have it just go.
That's probably the better move. Pit with 20 to go and just run like hell.
And that's the thing about green flag runs like this. You get strategies like this at the end where it shakes up the entire running order. So you look at this and you might start thinking, Burrows may still have a shot. Mummick still may have a shot. I think they're also considering that last 6-lap push, maybe that last 5-lap push that can just get them over the line. Someone's going to go for it. We know for sure someone's going to try that insane strategy. Mullis, 3 seconds back. Kerwin on that same area. Braden Mummick closing on in.
I've noticed something though. That 7 of Cadell, he stayed with the 01. And if he's able to do one less pit stop here, he may just win it.
Kerwin just shoved James Thurston into turn 1. I don't think he wants anybody that could be out of the question near him right here. He's looking at the outside of Mullis. This is the battle for second.
And here's the thing. We are coming to 35 to go. We are getting right to the edge of the window. Coming up now, got the 8, the 1, 36. They're all in. They're going to be at the edge of the window. Probably needing to save fuel. They're just hoping to get a top 10 out of this.
This is a toss-up here. Do you possibly do the 2 or you do the 1?
They're staying out.
Around Mullis. I think they're going to have to go for that one-stop strategy. Ooh, I don't know.
I mean, if they're able to just stretch it, 35 laps, 34 laps, I think you'd be able to do it. You might have to save a little bit. Again, the big issue is tires. Tires. Mummick's in.
Mummick is in. Mullis on Kerwin.
Mummick is going to be right on the edge. He's going to hope that he's able to run a bit faster than them for a lap or two and maybe make something out of it. They're going down low. Are they coming in? They're coming in. It looks like.
Oh, on the flat. Yes, they are.
They are booking it in too.
They're going to be right on that edge.
They made it though.
So that means Steven Wilson's going to have an opportunity at the one-stop strategy. Him and Burrows and Kevin Champagne will be in the window. Can they save 2 laps is the real question.
How much did they save on this run? Because they pitted close to what? 60-something to go?
I don't think
70?
Wilson saved at all, man. He just hit the gas and got out of Dodge.
He's got a fast enough car, he can do it.
It's coming in this time, so it's going to be a 1 lap over. And another thing is you cannot speed. That's the big thing you got to continue to look at.
He's going to be at 33 to go when he gets out. So if you make it 32 laps, same with the 20, the 21, all you got to save is a lap compared to 2. Now, if that's right at the edge of the window and others have to save, it's a different story. Now, I think we need to watch the 7.
Jonathan Cadell.
We need to watch the 7. Because
Passed by James Thurston.
he's someone we know can make it off this next stop alone. He's going to probably stay out until 32 or 31 to go. He will be guaranteed to the finish on fuel.
Now, Thurston performed his own undercut move and got out in front of him just now. So the real question still is, what could the 29 do, or is Cadell's strategy so now off-put that it may not work?
It may not, because I'm looking at the running order, and Malik Ray is your leader. He is your leader by 8.9 seconds now over the 01.
Wow.
Malik Ray is the leader. He has to
Here
pick again.
comes Braden Mummick. Mummick's on his horse as well with Steven Wilson, so if those two even fight, Ray could have the strategy at the end of this race.
And Mummick has leapfrogged Mullis and Casey Kerwin as well.
And this is all over the place, eh?
And we'll leave the pit tracker on for now to make sure. There goes Joey Stone for his final stop of the race. He'll be able to make it.
Yeah, he'll just be able to make it from here. So he's looking at least a top 12 for the strategy call of the 45 machine. Bold move by Stone. I mean, a lot of people wrote him off for this event. But a top 12, top 15 finish?
Not bad.
That's not bad at all.
Because there's some that are probably going to have to pit. If he's able to stay out, they're not going to run him down. They're just not good enough.
Now, Steven Wilson is just closing in on Malik Ray. It was about a 9.2, 9.5, and now it's down to an 8.9. So he is making up speed there on that 99 as Ray works 202 into the corner, but he still has Alexander Russell on his outside lane. So with 31 laps to go, we sit and wait as the clock continues to tick. to see how
Cadell's
this
in.
race will end.
Cadell is in with 31 to go. We know for sure that
So he can make it.
He will make it. But looking at the interval now,
It's going to be close for Wilson, man. He's got to save it. He's closing. I see Movic 9.5 back. Is he closing in on Wilson at all is the real question, and he is. So Wilson might be already in that save mode. Matter of fact, we can find out by just going on the gyro cam and just listening in. Hang back, let's see. Driver inputs, left side of your screen, 201, 202, 203, 204, I don't think so.
can he make
Unless
it?
he's that confident.
I mean, he could. I mean, they could make it because a lot of that range too is can you make the tires last that long? But look at Monk's there. I mean, he's what 1.5 behind.
Yeah, got past Mullis and also got past Kerwin with 30 laps to go. Wilson is 7 seconds back to Ray. If Movic can fight Wilson, he possibly can go ahead and alleviate that time for Malik Ray as well. So Ray's right now banking and probably the biggest fan of this 42.
He very much is. Would it help Ray if they had a caution?
Yes, it would help him
That's what I'm
100%.
saying. If there was a caution, I'm not asking for one. I'm just saying that's another option that he will be able to have, and maybe that's all he needed. Maybe that's the only thing he can do. Maybe the rest of the leaders can make it, and he is just that last-ditch effort. There's no point in finishing 5th in a race that only pays for 1st.
Right. And you look at Wilson, you look at Movic, back nose to tail. This is now a gap. Still a 1.5. Still around a 1.5, 1.7 in between each other. Jimmy Mullis right behind Movic. Kerwin and Mullis have fought all night long. Casey Kerwin now into that 5th position.
So these 5 are the ones that are going to battle it out for the win in one way or another. The gap now between Wilson and Malik Ray, 5.5 seconds. That 01 is cooking.
Gavin Austin goes to the wayside of the 42 machine. Braden Movic up into 3rd. Jimmy Mullis up to 4th. Casey Kerwin back to 5th. Aaron Smith, what a comeback for that 15 up to 6th after how things have shuffled out. Anthony Burrows just really wasn't his night so far. He's been mostly around 5th to 9th. You hear on the radio, it's just like, we can't have that speed to go up there and really fight for this way. Here's Steven Wilson now a 4.6 back to Malik Ray. Ooh, I don't know. I think Malik Ray is not doing what he can on the caution side, or just hoping for a caution and praying for Wilson to make a mistake.
I don't think after this long, I mean, yes, the running this long might have some kind of attrition when it comes to just your focus, the fatigue, all of that. But I feel like after this long, everyone is in such a rhythm. They're just trying to get to the finish of this race. You got 27 laps left of 26 to go now of 250. They're just, at this point, trying to make it to the end.
4 seconds the difference. Steven Wilson, Malik Ray. They line up down to the inside. 3.7 now. How hard do you fight if you're the 99? Braden Movic.
He's been caught.
He's been caught quickly by these 2 machines behind, now sitting in 3rd. What a ride for this 42.
Yeah, I mean, we all had heard a lot of people talking about it, how all the Coke Series drivers are going to come in and wax the field. And he has been up there right with them, proving why he is one of the best in all of iRacing. Not just in all of iRacing.
Now he's 2.5 back to the driver sitting in that 2nd position. Steven Wilson has very much caught Malik Ray. You see them there now on the racetrack, flying their way around. Wilson in the middle. Malik Ray, very heavy down off corner exit. Braden Movic, they're in that 3rd place spot. Does Mullis make the move at all?
Well, that was about, I think, in the next 5 or so laps, we were expecting maybe Malik Ray to make that pit stop, unless he's going to try and just extend it as far as he can, hope for a caution, and maybe he's made up more positions than he would otherwise have had. Being 2nd, he wouldn't have lost anything in that, so maybe that's what he's going for on this. Movic under fire from Mullis, Kerwin right behind him.
Yeah, they're lined up here. You see Jimmy Mullis to the bottom, Braden Movic on the outside. Casey Kerwin right back to the bottom, and Braden Movic just lost 2 spots. Is he giving it away?
No. I'm wondering. Yeah, I'm wondering what exactly is gonna be the strategy on this one.
Kerwin. Mullis. Braden Mummett just laid over, though. Let's listen in just so what we can hear. Now, he was the driver that we believe was forced to go on a two-stop, if I'm not mistaken.
Or at least extended as far as he could.
201, he's not up against that outside wall, went to 203, and really out of that gas. He's trying something here late. All these drivers are experimenting. It's just a big science fair out there right now.
I mean, he pitted a lap before these other guys that just went by him and 2 laps before Steven Wilson. There's no way that he can have a shot at the win at this point.
Wilson 1 second in between him and Ray. Jackson Carr in front of that 99 machine. 23 coming to 22 to go.
And now the gap is 7 tenths. 7 tenths between Malik Ray and Steven Wilson. At this point, do you just, if you're Malik Ray, you just hold him up as much as possible, hope for that caution, hope you're not caution, or once you get past, you just pit immediately and hope that some kind of strategy can work?
I think he's got to pit immediately the second he gets past, right? I mean, you got to go for the win. You got to hope for Wilson maybe to make some type of mistake, either on a strategy call or just something didn't add up right for him. Jimmy Mullis is 3.6, 3.5. Yeah, somewhat staying in that bubble. Malik Ray's got to make this thing wide right here. This is his last-ditch effort.
Yeah, it's the only thing he can do unless a caution again comes out. But yeah, at this point, with the speed he's going, he would lose a ton of time. Gonna go down low. Steven Wilson going up to the high side. And it's looking like this. Your battle for the lead isn't going to be a long-standing one. Steven Wilson clears Malik Ray for the lead with 21 to go.
And that's what it's going to be. Now he's not going to pit again from what it looks like. Malik Ray will. Jackson Carr hard into that outside wall. 2 drivers back under a blanket. Ray, I think, is coming to pit road this time by. Maybe not. He's going to stay on out as long as he can. Jason Tamer is in. These are the guys on the 2-stop strategy.
This will be the last stops of the race. Anything from here on out, unless you have a major problem, this is it.
20 to go. Battle now for that second spot. I believe we could say the top 3 are going just for to the checkered flag. You don't want to pit once again. Braden Mummett 5 back. He might be in that same boat. He's letting these guys by. He's letting them go so he can possibly get to the finish.
He may have just been trying that 2 laps before Steven Wilson went to the pits, just as an effort to maybe make up that time. Maybe have some caution come out to save him, but not going to work so far. It's looking like the end of the line for a lot of these people. And right now, pit road very empty. No major strategies being pulled by anybody up front.
Just Tamer, who's down the flat. He's coming off now.
But he was a lap down to begin with.
Steven Wilson has not really gapped Malik Ray. It's still about 1 the difference. So I think now he might be in that save mode.
Or just ride. I mean, at this point, 196 at the end, 198 almost.
It's about where it's been. So at 19 laps to go, Steven Wilson on track for his first E-ticket win. There's Jimmy Mullis. There's Casey Kerwin. There's Braden Mummett. Mummett sitting in 5th. Mullis, the drive off. Kerwin also lined in.
The gap between them about 0.2 of a second. Right now, this is probably the battle for 3rd, 2nd, if they can catch Malik Ray.
Kerwin lines into the bottom. There's Mullis.
The 15 of Smith, Aaron Smith in the pits. His final stop of the race.
Those are the guys that couldn't make it to the end. Malik Ray, 1.7 back. We're still waiting to see when he will bite. Lot of coasting. A lot of coasting. I think we're under a fuel lottery. We're going to go ahead and see. Jimmy Mullis wasn't even close in the throttle at all.
He pitted 1 lap before our leader. 1 lap after Braden Mummett.
This is gonna be something right here. I mean, we're wondering if Steven Wilson can get to the end now. The admins of Just Messes are questioning if they can make it still on fuel. So there is now the question of a fuel lottery back in hand.
Well, we know for a fact Malik Ray cannot make it in. What he's probably hoping for is that caution.
Yeah, he's saving. Mudvik is saving. So Mudvik was one of the last ones to pit, if I'm not mistaken.
He pit with 35 to go. The 83 and the 88 pit with 34 to go. The 01 pit with 33 to go. 7 pit with 31 to go. Though we think he's probably out of contention, even if he's able to outlast him.
Steven Wilson's not in that save mode. That's the big thing. So either he's that confident,
or he's just going to run it till it burns.
or he's just going to run it till it burns. Everyone else is really pretty much in a strategy call of trying to just get to the end and hold on to their positions. Casey Kerwin, what a drive for Red Bull. They finally got their resurgence, and you can just once again hear that there is nothing in that car.
Yeah, and you're just seeing these guys on the edge this entire time. And you're looking at their lap times, too. I mean, their lap times have fallen off two or so seconds. So they're saving, but these cars are also falling off as well. Top 5 are the ones that we're watching. Anthony Burrows, for anyone wondering, in the 6th spot, 11 seconds off the pace, though he did make up 2 tenths in the last half lap. So maybe he's somebody who could be able to make it, maybe, but right now it's looking like it's these fast 5 is the ones we're going to look at.
And they said they don't know. So they're not sure yet about Wilson because of where Mavic is and where all these other guys are saving. They still don't believe that one lap.
I think at this point, if you're Malik Ray, like we're watching him on screen right now, you know he can't make it. He pit with 41 to go. He pit 6 laps before Braden Mavic. He pit 8 laps before Steven Wilson. He is going to run it till the last possible moment, hoping for that caution. It may be, or maybe just doing a gas and go and hoping that somebody runs out of fuel.
Kerwin back and forth. Led a couple of laps this race. 11 out of the 237 thus far. Compared to Steven Wilson, well, he's led the most laps tonight. 111 laps out of 234. And it mainly came in that last long green flag cycle. 13 to go for the 01 machine.
If we are able to make it to the finish without a caution, we're looking at over 160 green flag laps, over 300 miles.
That's a new record.
Of this 500-mile race could possibly be run under green if they can make it for 12 and a half laps to the finish, and that's if he doesn't run out of gas. That's if nothing happens to him. There's still a lot that can happen in these last 12 and a half laps.
And you know what that will do? It would break the record of the Ford 400 just a year ago, your first e-ticket you had on this channel.
Yeah, and I love it. I love these fuel lotteries. I love these strategy races. We see the 33 going down pit road. Demos is in there. A lot of these guys just maybe hoping that they're able to get to the finish and maybe the leaders run out and something good happens.
Pit road, 12 laps to go. It's starting to fill out the machines.
If we're looking for those who we know can make it to the end, I believe Thurston can, or he might be right in that window. He's ahead of Cadell. That's someone to watch if you're looking deeper into the pack, though.
Riding on with Wilson once again. Not shutting the car off whatsoever. He's racing like he's raced all night. That one move, that one long green flag stop that he had where he went one more than everyone else, that made the difference.
Yeah, and he might be able just to fully make it. I mean, he's right on that edge where the rest of them have to save. He might be able to make it, and
that one overcut, that's all it took was one overcut.
So a decision he made, what, 125 laps ago, made the difference between winning and possibly being in this scrum right here.
Sticks on the board, 11 to go for Steven Wilson, will be 10 this time by. The best on iRacing rolled out west to see what they can do. Flawless racing from lap 1 to now 10 laps to go. Strategy played the role of the last half of this race, and with 10 to go, Steven Wilson has all eyes on glory as long as everything stays course. Malik Ray to pit road.
He is pitting with 10 to go. 10 laps to go. He made it 31 laps. He made it 31 laps. I will say that again. The only one that we've been watching that could make it 31 laps was the 7 of Cadell. That would mean that the 43 and 15, who were kind of at the edge of the window, they have pitted. It would mean Mavic would be 4 laps short. Off of that, it would mean that the 83 and 88 would be 3 laps short. It means that the 01 would be 2 laps short. Are they thinking gas and go and the others are saving fuel?
Oh no, we're gonna see, 9 to go.
That was a 31 lap run by Malik Ray.
I think he ran it out.
We don't think he was saving at all, which would mean, again, you would have 2 laps here. That is 6 miles. Or 4 miles, I should say. 4 miles is a lot to save.
Mullis 4-5 back. Kerwin 4-9 back. Braden Movick about to be swallowed up by some lap machines. Garza, Contreras. Garza right to the bottom. Movick lined up now with the 22 machine. We continue to go ahead and listen in. Still saving, but not as much as he was before.
Here's something else you got to keep in mind, too. If you're looking at those guys like Thurston and Cadell who could possibly make it. Cadell for sure can. If you're somebody who has to do a gas and go, you're not getting fresh tires.
Oh, there you go. Now he's saving. Just there.
But this late in the run?
Yes.
Like, you have to think he saved a little here and there during the run, too, to make it.
At least in 1 and 2, he definitely was with that heavy off-throttle time. 8 laps to go for Steven Wilson. Yes, just heard the downshift, so he is saving now. But was he saving the entire time, and will it be enough?
Well, he has a 4.5-second gap to Jimmy Mullis. Casey Kerwin right with Mullis. Movick is 7.5 back. He's needing to save. He is 2 laps to the bad of the leader. So it might come down.
We'll know with 3 to go.
It might come down to whoever maybe 7th on down saved enough. Because, the 43 of Wilkerson, he can't make it. The 15 of Aaron Smith, he already pitted, so he has fresh tires and is making up ground. He might be somebody, if these leaders run out, that's in the catbird seat. There goes the 88 now. He's getting passed by the 38. He's not pitting this time by, but he is slow compared to some of these guys.
That's the speed of Contreras on somewhat new tires. He pit just a couple laps ago. There's Braden Movick also back in that 4th position. All watching, all waiting to see what may change towards the final half of this, or the final laps of this race. 6 to go comes the 5 to go. Next time by.
We will start knowing around 4 laps to go. 4 to go is when we should start, if they didn't save, when we would start seeing guys come in. This might come down to the last corner once more. We'll keep that up on there, see who goes in and out of pit road at different points.
Mullis, Kerwin, lined up nose to tail. Another big battle for second. They've been going at it all night long.
It's like 2 magnets. They cannot get away from each other tonight.
Kerwin on the outside, Mullis on the bottom with 5 laps to go. Downstairs goes Jimmy Mullis. To the outside goes Casey Kerwin. They will fight this out. I think they know that they're good on fuel, so they're going to let them duel it out for the win.
And now Kerwin goes past. If anything is to happen to Steven Wilson, Casey Kerwin would have the lead in the win. They are making up a ton of time. They just made up 0.3 of a second in that corner alone on the leader.
Yeah, there's something going on right here. You can see Kerwin going right past Mullis. Mullis doesn't want to give him away. He knows this could be the finish for the win, depending on if Wilson can make it to the end. Everyone is looking and wondering, can Steven Wilson make it all the way? But Mullis is still fighting Kerwin to the center.
This is when we're going to find out. Right around now to about 2 to go is when you're going to see who can make it, who can't. It's going to be close down to the finish. Kerwin has position on Mullis. Now a car length between the two.
Lined up, nose to tail. Casey Kerwin, 4-8, 4-7. Still wheel with Jimmy Mullis. They're still not giving it up. 4 laps to go, comes the 3 laps to go. Riding in still with Wilson, watching on. Still that fight for that second position between Kerwin and Mullis.
We haven't seen anyone dive to pit road just yet. If anyone were, it's going to be any moment, any lap now.
This is the window. Either you have it or you don't. 5 back for Kerwin. That's coming off corner exit. He's faster through the center. Obviously now with Wilson back saving through the center. Just a little, I'm telling you, I think Wilson is pretty confident in that piece alone.
2 to go. 2 to go. If he didn't save anything, this is when he would have to pit with 2 laps left. So he may have done just enough. We'll find out in less than 4 miles.
Kerwin and Mullis Casey Kerwin pulls away for 6 back. Oh man, he is closing big time, but the question is, will it be enough? Wilson has the loud pedal back onto a 4.8. Lap traffic in front of him. Has Conklin, has Russell. How much did he save with 2 laps to go? We're going to find out this time by.
He'll be coming this time by for the white flag behind a lot of lap traffic, but here he gets out of 4 under power.
One final lap here from California. Salamanca, 1 to go in the DriveSmart California 500.
He's got the position again, less than 2 miles down to the bottom of 1 and 2. Still well underpowered on the backstretch.
Heads his way down off corner exit. Hangs it wide and is going to let it rip. We all asked, will we get a new first-time winner for e-ticket events in this race? Well, guess what? Steven Wilson is gonna go California dreaming as he works his way down on turn number 4 with the checkered flag in hand. Wilson victorious in the DriveSmart California 500. Battle for second. Kerwin, Mullis. Kerwin takes second. Mullis takes third. Munden comes home in the fast 4. Burrows comes home 5th. Wrecking coming to the line.
What a race. Margin of victory, 5.2 seconds. He just did everything right tonight.
Steven Wilson will get ready to celebrate as the fireworks go off in the distance. What a long green flag run that breaks the record for e-ticket events.
I believe a 164-lap green flag run, which would make this 328 miles to the finish under green.
Wow. Wilson gets it done with an amazing finish, an amazing race. That was a race etiquette race from the drop all the way to the end. He's gonna burn it down, ladies and gentlemen. A new e-ticket event champion in NR Night in America, Steven Wilson, victorious in the DriveSmart California 500, NR Night in America, fueling victories all year long. Strategy. That's all it came down to, that one change.
And I think Spencer Burns ran out of fuel because Gavin Austin is pushing him to the line. And this, we're not going to penalize him a lap like real NASCAR, are we?
Let him finish.
He's suffering still. He got put into the wall.
So your 2023 Coke Series champion was able to go ahead and get it done. But at the end of the day, it was a great race. Let's get ready to go talk to your race winner.
Man, what a fun race.
Yeah, that's classic right there.
Well, and the best of the best came to play.
That's what it came down to. That's what we talked about. We couldn't wait for the best of the best to have it race in between them, and there were great battles from the start all the way back to the finish. What an e-ticket event it was. We wait for Steven Wilson to go ahead and join the Discord. We'll drag him on in as he is now an e-ticket event champion. Wilson, it's the John. You got a copy?
I got you.
We got you, my man. Walk me through that race.
Yeah, we had barely enough fuel to finish. I was going longer than them every stint, which helped me make it to the end there, not have to save in those last 2 runs. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. Really good combo, racing with Casey, Jimmy, Malik, Muvik, all those guys that were up front. That was a whole ton of fun.
Well, it was a whole lot of fun, my man. So glad to have you with us as we continue to go ahead and just celebrate winners here tonight. It was an absolute blast of a race. Walk me through the early portions in that strategy. We all know that strategy is what made the difference there at the end.
Yeah, you know, the early portions, we were all just learning the car, seeing how hard we could push, how much we had to save, what lines worked, all that. And it was a lot of fun. You know, there was like 6 or 7 of us up front racing all together in a pack, and it was really good. But about 150 to go at least. I was kind of starting to do the math, which seems kind of crazy that it was over half a race ago now that I had already started thinking about fuel saving. And I just went a lap longer than them on the first stint, which I think helped me out a lot. But Yeah, it was really fun, and gotta thank you, gotta thank DriveSmart for not only putting it on, but also the invite to let me race, and appreciate it.
It was amazing. $500 richer. That one overcut that you did made the complete difference of the race. Was that spontaneous, or were you just expecting to do that right from the get-go?
Pretty much the whole race, with it being this long, I was planning on just running it out of gas every tank. Just seeing how many pit stops would naturally happen by that. So I don't think I pit with any more than a third of a gallon left in the tank each time we came down, unless it was under caution. So it was just running it out, and it really just ended that way to where I had about half a lap of gas or so at the end of it.
Well, Steven Wilson, congratulations on getting your first e-ticket event win.
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go talk to second. We got second coming up here. There as Casey Kerwin, whenever he does join. Jimmy Mullis up to third. Jarrett, analysis, walk me through it.
Well, I mean, what we saw tonight, like you said, was a bit of that kind of driver etiquette race. We knew that this was a good field. This is probably our strongest field we've ever had, and we saw that based on the last 164 laps run under green flag conditions. There was maybe the biggest incident was what? A restart crash where 2 cars got involved? That has to be a record for one of these events.
It very much is. I mean, we obviously went into Homestead last year with the idea of it's going to be close, right, on how the racing would be. And then all of a sudden, they just opened it up to 150-lap green flag run. Tonight, you saw that once things got strung out, there was not going to be a caution. These guys could pick different lanes. They can run differently, but we also threw guys back into different strategy calls. Was this going to be the right move? Was that going to be the right move? There's so many ifs, ands, or buts going on. At the end of the day, it came down to very much what it was, and it came down to strategy. After a race that started with nothing but hard racing, that's all it came down to, hard racing from the drop of the green flag, to turn to strategy around halfway was odd, different, and we've never seen anything like that in e-ticket. That's why we continue to say you never know what you're gonna get when you watch one of these races.
Well, and I'm seeing in the chat right now one of our drivers, Jackson Carr, saying everything hurts, very sore. We knew there was going to be fatigue in this race too. That's why we got the best of the best. But you know, sometimes a lot of these drivers don't race these 500-mile races.
Right.
We barely see it in actual NASCAR anymore. So the fact that they were able to do this and everyone was able to stay respectful, we didn't have a bunch of people trying to cause a wreck for no reason, or try and cause a wreck to help themselves, or do a itchy arm situation.
Right.
Hats off to these drivers for doing a race that I'll just say it now, most people can't do.
Mullis, no, let's rephrase that. Kerwin, he's the John, you got a copy.
I gotcha.
He's got us, man. P2. It was a fun race to go and watch. You continue to fight. It was hard. It was nothing but great race in the beginning, then turned to strategy. What was that last thing that you needed to change to go to victory lane?
Honestly, just if we would have thought about just extending the first couple stints, that's really kind of where we got caught out. I just didn't really, we never quite completed a full run, or if we did, I just didn't pay attention to how long it was, and just didn't really think that we would do that many laps straight green. I was like, surely there'll be, a yellow at some point. So yeah, just literally not extending those first like two or three stints just put us where we had to save those last 3, and that's where Steven was in the clear and just pulled away. So it wasn't too hard to extend them if you could have just barely extended the one those first like 2 or 3 stints, and you really didn't have to save to the end there. So yeah, it would have been a little bit closer had we would have done that, but obviously Steven was really quick. So but it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was obviously seemed pretty top dominant early, but then it kind of went back down towards the bottom and really got to move around a lot. And yeah, it was fun driving with 900 horsepower and a lot of off throttle time again. So
it was very fun to watch. Some were saying they're surprised there wasn't a caution involved. Were you surprised on how things ended in this race?
Yeah, I mean, it was a clean race the whole way. We had a lot of, I mean, there wasn't an abundance of yellows or wrecks or anything. I just figured, some point in the 160 laps there would have been some form of contact or something. But it was extremely clean, and hats off to everyone for doing that. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, seeing how all the runs played out and changing lines throughout the run. It was, yeah, you don't get to do that often. So yeah, it was really enjoyable.
It was amazing. Congratulations on P2 in your first e-ticket event.
Thank you. Thanks for putting it on, and DriveSmart and everyone for supporting it as well. Yeah, it was a grand time.
Absolutely fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, Casey Kerwin, runner-up at the conclusion of this event. Let's go talk with Jimmy Mullis, who is in third. Now, before we do, I want to point out we did the last roll random. Benjamin Wilson won. It just pays to be a Wilson here tonight. Clearly, it just pays to be a Wilson. I mean, your last name is Wilson. You most likely won something. But Jimmy Mullis, it was fun watching you, man. You were fighting and clawing. And we should have had you definitely in the talking points come countdown to green, but you finished P3 in this e-ticket. Walk me through it.
Honestly, man, a little bummed to come home third after all that. I felt like I had the pace there to keep up with Steven, but obviously just got on the wrong strategy early on there with Casey, and you know, it was just a battle between us two at that point for second, which was really fun. That was an awesome race, and really didn't expect it to go green like that, at least not at that point. After we had gotten those little flow of yellows, I thought it was going to continue to be that way for a little bit. So, you know, I guess I made the wrong choice as far as how I drove that run, and put myself kind of in a box to where I had to pit earlier than Steven, and you know, it just works out that way. But all in all, an awesome event, had a blast, and really want to come back for sure.
Oh man, we love to hear that. It was an amazing race. The racing was so tough early on, and it came down to strategy, and the big thing is that wowed people is how clean it was, and I love that. At least as someone that mainly runs these events, mainly runs Enter Night, I love hearing that people are excited that it went green. It was exciting to be clean racing, because I want to talk about you with this one, Jarrett. We all thought we were due for USA to get a big one. We all thought we were due for Auto Club. Daytona is the next e-ticket event. The Florida 500. We're just going to announce it now.
February 9th, correct?
February 9th, the Florida 500, the next e-ticket event. We're still looking to see who's going to come on for that one. But at the end of the day, does that mean we're really doing? What are we expecting come 2024?
I mean, I'm expecting it, but at this point, we always say we expect it. So I'll say this now, man. Like, I will literally eat crow if we don't get a big one at Daytona. I will.
That just means our drivers are really respectful. Mullis, we hope to see you in the future, my man. You've definitely made a name for yourself in this community and the NR Night side, and we can't wait to see you back. What a race this was.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you letting me, you know, be a part of tonight, and look forward to being a part of NR Night in the future.
Heck yeah. Jimmy Mullis, ladies and gentlemen, P3. Well, it was a lot of fun. It gets even crazier. You know why? We went back to us right away. It crashed out of nowhere. I don't know how. The only crash happened to be right at the end.
Oh my
I don't know how
gosh.
iRacing just fell apart, but it very much did right at the end. It's been an absolute wild week getting things ready. We had the tornado last Saturday. We had Discord crashing.
Not even a tornado could stop this event from happening.
We had a tornado. Then we had the Discord. You know, everyone heard about that one. Discord went down before the stream. Like, oh no, how are we going to let the drivers know at the drivers meeting? So much was thrown this way, and you know what? To have a solid race like this, it's amazing. We can't wait to see you back for future NR Night in Americas. Jarrett does some great live streams and videos over on his channel. Check out the iceberg, ladies and gentlemen, because we will be back for the next e-ticket event, February 9th, the Florida 500 at the World Center of Racing. My name is Jonathan Ramos. This has been the DriveSmart California 500. I just want to say quickly, thank you to everyone that has super chatted during this live stream. Jacob Quill dropped the 10. David Bell dropped the 2. Alexander Schumacher dropped the 10. Enjoying that finish. Snappy dropping the 5. We also had Shamachi dropping the 1. Carl dropping the 5. Matt Decent loving the race and dropping the 20. David Bell with the 5. Very thankful for that. Carl with the 5 as well. I'm up Phoenix. First time super chatting with the 2. David Bell with the 10. Chad Hornish with the 1. David Bell with the 10 as well. David Bell becoming a VIP member. Emily becoming a VIP member. Eric W with 2. Make it 3 gifted memberships. Ladies and gentlemen, if you love the racing tonight, you'll love the racing in the future, and you'll love it for the next NR Night in America. Stay tuned, because some more great events are just around the horizon. I want to say thank you once again to Makoni Setup Shop for once again giving us the opportunity to broadcast in their studio. We didn't have to go there, but we very much came close to going there. And if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have had this event. Thank you to Contreras dropping down the VIP pass, saying my arms are dead. And obviously thank you to DriveSmart Warranty. This event would not have been possible if it wasn't for them. I don't think we would have had the great driver count. and the great driver skill. If it wasn't for DriveSmart Warranty, they did us in this great community a favor. They're always doing a great job while working on events. They have their DriveSmart to Daytona event that they're working with DJ EG and DLB TV, and obviously the DriveSmart California 500. Absolute blast it was. My name is Sean Thorino. It's the voice of NR alongside Jarrett Lumberg. Have a great night, ladies and gentlemen.